Everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everything is going well with you, good people of the algorithm. I hope you're having a great Sunday and you're winding down and preparing for the new work week. Today was a good day for me. I'm so glad that I have took some time away from work so I can relax, do some things that I actually want to do, the activities that I have. This live stream is not going to be that long. I do have appointment to go to, a yoga appointment to go to. So I want to make sure I make that on time. So I'm going to try to get through these cases as quickly as possible. So if you see me in my workout gear and all that stuff like that, don't be alarmed. That's what's happening. So let me just say what's going on with the chat so far. First person who came in is Young Riaz. How you doing, Young Riaz? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, little bro. Truly appreciate you. And Sean, good to see you as always. Thank you so much for stopping by and your support. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you. And let's see. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to block that. We're gonna have to block that. Wait, hold on one second. Oh, wait, he says check out this there. No. Okay, we're gonna block that one. But shout out to trying to, get some information in there. Flower, how are you, sweetheart? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. How are you been? I hope everything is well with you, dear. Shout out to you. Anthony, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Truly appreciate it. So guys, just make sure you hit the like button for me. It truly helps the channel. You can also hit the don't like button. That helps the channel as well. Please share this out to anyone who likes these interactive reviewing of old cases that have already been solved. And, if you have any other cases that you want me to review, just put it in the comment section later on. I will look at it and I will add it to the list that we can review on this channel. So let me go ahead and pull up the first. Let me go ahead and pull up the first case for you. So the first case that we're going to go over is a U.S. Army veteran. He believes that his roommate is a killer. This recently, I don't think that the case is recent, but this has recently been put into a video essay. So we're going to go ahead and review that. So let me go ahead and pull up my screen, and hopefully the internet gods will not mess up the video because we was having that problem last time. Hi, Jack. How you doing? You cannot have my Instagram. What's wrong with you? Moa, how are you, dear? Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope everything's well with you. Haven't seen you in a while. All right, let me go ahead and pull this up and we can get it started.
The drama began at exactly 7:33 a.m. on June 21st, 2019, when a man named Nathan Robertson placed this 911 call to the Evansville Police Department.
911.
Yes, I got an emergency at 640 Maryland Street.
Shout out to
I come over here
Sweden.
to talk to my cousin's boyfriend, and when I get up there, he's laying in the kitchen all bloody. I don't know what's going on. The front door's wide open, and he's laying down. I don't know.
Is he breathing?
I don't know. I stepped back out.
Did you ever hear him talk or cry?
No, it sounded like he was in there gasping for air, but I don't know. It scared me. I turned around and walked out. I'm not going back in there. Yeah, I'm not going back in there.
Nathan stayed on the phone with dispatch until he noticed a fire truck and police cruiser headed towards him.
You go and talk to them, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Robertson.
Bye.
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 Body cams rolling, Officer Rick Bagby and his partner approached the house along with several firefighters. Nathan was already back on the phone, informing family and friends of the emergency.
Down in there in the kitchen, there's blood everywhere. Police department.
As the officers entered the home, they noticed a trail of bloody footprints coming from the kitchen. Peering into the kitchen, they saw 27-year-old Cory Hughes lying face down in a pool of blood. He was just barely clinging to life, gasping for air.
Have fire come in. He's still moving and breathing.
Most firefighters in the United States are also trained as EMTs, so they headed inside to assess Cory themselves. It appeared that the left side of Cory's head had an exit wound from a gunshot. While the firefighters worked to keep Cory alive, the officers checked the rest of the house to see if anybody else was there.
Police department, anybody down here? Make yourself known!
As they went from room to room, they also kept an eye out for any weapons that might have been used in the attack. However, they found nothing notable, so they headed back to check on Cory. The paramedics had just arrived and were bringing in a stretcher.
So I just want to say that you can definitely tell that there is some distress that's going on in that home. Usually when you see that a home is untidy, there's some mental issues going on, high anxiety, high stress, and this is why they can't really keep things in order. I'm still trying to figure out why was this person shot, and hopefully, because I haven't seen this video before, hopefully they're able to save him. Most likely, probably not. It won't happen, but I would wish that they would be able to save him since he's still somewhat breathing and alive, and they got there in a good amount of time. So let's see. Hi, Miss Jalen. How are you doing? I hope everything's well with you, sweetheart. I hope everything's well with you. It's good to see you, sis. Let's go on.
For him. They strapped him in and carried him out to the ambulance. He was transported just 4 minutes away to the Deacon S Hospital. While he underwent emergency surgery, the scene was secured and lead detectives Chris Jones and Mike Evans arrived. They noticed that although the home was messy, nothing was broken or knocked over, suggesting that Cory didn't have a chance to fight back before being shot. They believed he was shot with a single round from a .380 pistol, as indicated by the single shell casing found in the pool of blood. Perhaps the most valuable piece of evidence were the bloody footprints. They allowed the detectives to determine the kind of shoes that the assailant was wearing. Based on the pattern on the bottom of the shoes, they were a pair of Nike Air Force Ones. Also, since the attacker had tracked blood through the residence, they must have stayed inside the house long enough for a pool of blood to have formed. The detectives believed that this stretch of time was spent rummaging through the several drawers that were left open. It's uncertain what the killer was looking for, but thankfully they didn't find this wallet, which was tucked behind a mattress and had over $1,500 inside it. The last major piece of evidence that they found was Cory's phone. While the forensics unit documented and collected all of the evidence, Detective Evans reconvened with Nathan to gather some basic information.
So when you arrived, you just found...
The door was open a little bit, the main door. Like, I looked through the door, and I seen like a footprint of blood.
Right.
Nathan explained that he was headed to his shift at a local steakhouse that morning, but stopped by Cory's place first because he was buying a TV off of him. Cory was supposed to be moving from Indiana to Oregon that day, so for the past few weeks, he had been selling any belongings that he wasn't.
So shout out to Miss Jalen for gifting 5 memberships to the Let's Talk About level of the channel. I appreciate you, Miss Jalen. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. And let's welcome the new members of the Let's Talk About It crew. Lala, how are you? I hope you're having a great Sunday. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It crew. Let's see. Zebra Girl, how are you? I hope everything's well this Sunday with you. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It crew. Max Payton, how are you? I hope you're having a great Sunday. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It crew. Honeysuckle, thank you so much for coming in and supporting. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It crew. And last but not least, Unchained, how are you, sir? Good to see you again. Welcome to the Let's Talk About It crew. So I hope you guys enjoy the membership. Truly appreciate it. And let's go ahead and keep it going. Oh, hold on. Shout out to Gomez. How are you? How you doing? Shout out to you. Welcome to the channel. I know you from Freezy channel. Welcome to the channel, Gomez. Good to see you. Happy that you're here, and I hope you're having a good Sunday. Thank you so much, Miss Jalen. Thank you so much. Yes, thanks everyone for coming. Truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate you. So off the bat, to go back to the case, so far from what I'm getting, they found Air Force Nikes that had all the blood under it, right? So now they got to look for who has that shoe size. But now I'm thinking that maybe the victim didn't live by themselves. The victim had a roommate. Obviously, there was no forced entry into the house. Nothing else was taken when the fire department and the police went to inspect. So I'm thinking it had to be someone who knew this individual who did it. So let's go on. Let's see what else they have to say.
Bringing with him. The detectives wondered if the attacker was aware that Cory had been selling his things and had killed him in order to steal the cash that was inside the house. At this point, Cory's ex-girlfriend and mother of his children, Megan Frasier, arrived at the scene begging for more information.
Okay, well, they're down at the hospital with the gentleman.
Can you please tell his family what's going on? Somebody?
We're trying to figure out what's going on.
Is he dead?
No.
He's not dead.
After learning that Cory was still alive, Megan rushed to the hospital where she received the tragic news. Cory had passed away. The detectives were eager to find his killer as soon as possible. They canvassed the area and questioned the neighbors about their mourning, but nobody heard or saw anything. However, one of the neighbors had a motion-activated security camera that could just see the front of Cory's house. Looking at Cory's text conversations, the last text that he sent was at 7:17 a.m., meaning he was still alive at this time. Nathan found Cory's body and placed the 911 call at 7:33 a.m. This means that Cory must have been killed within this 16-minute range. In the security footage, there are 3 times that the camera is activated around this time range. The first was at 7:14 a.m., 3 minutes before Cory's final text. Nothing significant happens in this recording, but it's important to note that the parking spot in front of Cory's house is empty. The second time the camera was activated was at 7:23 a.m. This time, a white SUV is parked in front of the house. Nobody is seen walking to or from this vehicle, so the detectives were unable to figure out who was driving it. The third clip was at 7:35 a.m. when first responders arrived at the house. In this footage, Nathan's vehicle is now parked in front of the house, and the white SUV is nowhere in sight. The detectives also found several other cameras that were pointed at the road. At 7:29 a.m., the white SUV can be seen driving down Maryland Street away from Cory's house. From this footage, they were able to determine that the vehicle was a white Chevy Trailblazer. Unfortunately, they couldn't see the driver and were unable to make out the license plate number. However, they did notice some distinct features that would be helpful in tracking the vehicle down. It had a sunroof and a roof rack, and the rear rim was black while the front rim was silver. It also appeared to be longer than a typical Trailblazer, indicating that it was an extended model. The detectives shared a screenshot of the vehicle with the rest of the police department and told them to keep an eye out. In deciding what their next steps would be, the detectives couldn't help but notice that Nathan had arrived at the house just 4 minutes after the Trailblazer left. Either the driver of the Trailblazer was extremely lucky, or Nathan was somehow involved in this convenient timing. They asked him to come down to the station for a formal.
Yeah, that does seem kind of weird to me, because the person who had potentially unalived this man or shot this man, you got to the house within 4 minutes before that actual car left. You was there. So that means you had to see someone leave the house. You had to, I guess, witness that vehicle moving away off the street from that house. So how do you get there? You call 911 and you don't have any other information to give. Like, hey, I don't know who car this is, but I seen this car. It was right in front of the house or a block away from the house. And I'm just coming in to knock in and see if everything's okay. And I see my friend this way. Like, how do you not see that within 4 minutes? That's too short of a time for you not to have any more information than you just calling and witnessing that a victim is lying with a gunshot wound in the house. So it does make perfect sense why they would bring him down there. And they was going to bring him down there anyway to interview him due to the simple fact that he was the one who found him in that state, right? So we always talk about on this channel, they usually go to your immediate family and then they go to your closest friend or whoever was there, right? Or called the 911. So this is why he's being interviewed first. But let's see what he has to say. Let's see what you have to say. Let's see. Oh, Carla. Hi, Carla. How are you doing? Good to see you again. I hope everything's well with you, dear. Good to see you. Shout out to you. I hope you're having a good Sunday. Sean Wiggins says, looks too comfortable. Yeah, it does. It does. Guy in the chair looks too calm. He do look a little calm. I'm as of right now with it paused. I don't see necessarily any defensive stance with him yet. But once we continue on, let's see if he does change his body mannerism or even his tone might change.
Interview.
Go back over what you told me this morning, make sure I've done all the facts. You're David Roberts.
When I got there, I pulled up. I was in a hurry because I had to get back to the safe house.
Ooh, what you
when I got
cooking?
over to the porch,
I'm hungry.
I walked over to the door and I seen that.
Hi,
Right
Brucey.
there.
How you
Right
doing?
there.
Oh, not him change his
So
dates
that's
to
where I
Corner
stepped in
Boys.
there and I
Look
looked.
at
I
you,
didn't go all
Bruce.
in the kitchen.
So much.
I stepped right there in the living room. But you know, once you get right there in the doorway, you can look and see inside the kitchen. And I leaned over like that.
Hey,
And I
Freezy,
seen
thank
him
you
and I
so
looked
much.
at him.
Thank you so much for
And
sharing.
I thought I heard him
Well,
like
and thank you for
gasping.
coming here, bro.
So I
Mods,
turned
can
around
you
and went
drop
right back out the door and
Freezy's
called trouble.
channel link in
Is
the chat for
anybody
me? I
leaving or
appreciate it.
not?
Appreciate it. Thank you so
Anybody
much.
leaving?
No, I didn't see nobody leaving.
Do you have any idea who wants to hurt Cory?
Well, I thought he was a good dude.
Based on the interview, Nathan didn't seem to be tied to Cory's death whatsoever. Just to be sure, the detectives asked him to hand over his clothes and the keys to his vehicle. And after a thorough inspection, they found no evidence tying Nathan to the crime. The next person they wanted to interview was Megan Frasier. Cory and Megan were together for 5 years and had 2 children together, but they had separated just 3 weeks earlier. It's
Oh, that's fine.
breakups to
Definitely
become
fine,
extremely
Bruce.
toxic. So the detectives wanted to know how Megan was handling the separation and if she had any motive to harm Cory. However, Megan was apparently so devastated by Cory's death that she was sick to her stomach while waiting for the detectives. Evansville detective Karen Montgomery conducted the interview and was sympathetic with Megan. She assured her that Cory's case was in good hands.
Let me start this by saying I'm sorry for your loss. Can't change things, but we certainly will work our hardest to find out who did this. When's the last time you physically saw Cory?
Sunday, 10:30 in the morning. I seen that he posted my stuff on Facebook for sale, and I asked him
Is it
nicely
still
to
frozen?
take it off, and that I gave it to him, and I said I did not. The TV, the couch, the chair, everything, like, it was all my personal stuff.
According to Megan, she had bought these items over the course of the relationship, but Cory was claiming that they were his now that the two were separated. However, Megan was even more upset about Cory moving across the country and was worried about the effect that this would have on their kids.
I've been really upset with him because because he's leaving my kids to go to Oregon, and I told him that wasn't fair and stuff like that.
The detective asked her what caused them to break up. Megan said that their relationship hadn't felt the same for a while, so she decided that the best thing for their family was to end the relationship.
Great, thank you.
It was nothing like I was trying to hurt Cory. It was just the love died between us, and it just kind of, like, Cory's my best friend, and that's what I'm sick about. I've loved him to death.
When asked what she was doing at the time of Cory's death, Megan told the detective that she was working all morning. Following this interview, the detectives obtained her work records and were able to corroborate her alibi. Ultimately, they found no evidence of Megan's involvement. So once again,
Hey,
they moved on
William,
with their
how are you,
investigation.
dear? Happy
Throughout these
Sunday.
interviews, several officers were still monitoring the crime scene. Suddenly, two random
Okay, so just to stop for a little bit, I didn't believe necessarily. I was a little bit concerned with the first guy because, like I said, it was the timeline. If he called the police at 7:33, the last text the victim sent was at 7:17. That was 16 minutes in between, and then they said that a vehicle left the house. I guess 4 minutes before Nathan got on scene. For him to not even see that there was one car just driving down that same street, and then and for not to be able to even give that kind of information to the police, that was a little weary for me. But I definitely didn't believe that the ex-girlfriend or the mother of his child was involved. She looked quite sickened, and she was on the scene immediately. I'd probably worry about maybe her children. I don't know if the children stays with him or if it was his time to have the children, but you could just tell that she was really, she was really going through it. She was really going through it that this man wasn't here. So now this is hard for the detective, because usually when they get little hints of who could possibly be a suspect, and now it comes back that these people are not involved. Now they got to go back to the drawing board. They have to go look for even more evidence, footprints, DNA, all the stuff like that. They got to start questioning more people on the block, eyewitnesses. They got to see if they can retrieve any other cameras from different angles, on that particular block. It's a lot. They have to start all over again. So but luckily, if we have good Samaritans who might know something, might hear something, they might want to, give a tip, to the police or the detective that maybe you need to start navigating down this route. That's why it's very important that we do have good Samaritans. And when people step up and try to help with these particular cases, because if you don't, this case will turn into one of those cold cases that never get solved, right? And we don't want that. We don't want that. All right. Let's see. Now I'm on the ex-girlfriend or the girlfriend. Let's see. No, he wasn't smoking weed. I don't think he was smoking weed, Joseph. They didn't say that he had weed in his system or anything. Let's see. All right. So let me go ahead and play a little bit more.
Woman pulled up to these officers, saying that they had a potential lead regarding Cory's death. Apparently, one of their friends had a roommate named Ben that wouldn't stop talking about the murder. And out of nowhere, he announced that he was leaving Evansville.
This is Benjamin Bay. Benjamin Bay. She's got a tattoo right here.
And on this thing that says he does have guns. Now, somebody got a text message and he said he's leaving town. And I'm going to tell you where they're at. All right, take somebody there.
The detectives were informed of this new lead, and with a team of officers by their side, they headed to Ben's house to confront him. Since the women said that Ben had several guns, the officers were extra cautious. They surrounded the house from all sides, and just as they were about to order Ben to come outside, they noticed Ben's roommate pacing around the backyard.
Can we talk to the dude in your house? Can we talk to the dude in there?
The roommate was 37-year-old Jimmy Leslie.
Hold on, it's doing it again. My bad. Hold on one second. Don't know why, but let's see. Hold on. Yeah, guys, I don't know why it's doing the buffering, so just give me a couple minutes and see if I can get it to work again.
And Ben has no problem meeting with the officer outside. However, when he learned that he was a person of interest in Cory's murder investigation, he was not happy.
Like I said, I do have the right to
Hi, John. Shout out to Norway. How are you?
I have nothing to do with this.
Ben refused to go to the station for an interview with the detectives, so the officers decided to put him in cuffs and bring him in themselves.
Why am I being arrested? If I'm getting arrested...
You're not being arrested, you're being detained.
Why am I being detained?
Because they want to talk to you.
Fortunately, Ben's attitude changed, and he started to open up once he was brought to the interrogation room. It turns out that Ben was going through a breakup as well, and Cory was supporting him through it. He even offered Ben a place to stay, and Ben was allowed to come and go as he pleased. It seemed that Ben had no reason to harm Cory, but to rule him out as a suspect, they wanted to know his timeline.
Were you over there at all yesterday?
Ben said that he was over at Cory's house all day, but after midnight, the two decided to grab some things from a nearby convenience store.
We left at 1 o'clock, 1:30 or 1:45. I don't even remember. After that, I did not go back. Did you have the same clothes on all day yesterday and today? I don't see even changed.
Okay. So my thing is, I'm trying to figure out the connection to this individual and the guy, right? Because you knew where the guy lived. So I'm thinking that you had to speak with this person before. This is only on the basis if he's actually the suspect that they're looking for. But I do find it very weird that, you know, it was a whole bunch of talk going on. Two women stand up and said they got text messages saying that someone is going to leave town and something's taking place. I'm just wanting to find the intent behind it, because just to unalive or shoot someone for, it looked like was like only $60. That's I mean, I would expect that for someone who's dealing like with heavy drugs, right? We don't know if the victim was dealing with drugs. We'll find out whether or not, but it just doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem right to me at all. But let's go on. Let's see what else they have to say.
The detectives did the same clothing inspection that they did with Nathan. But once again, they found no trace of blood, and his shoes did not have the same pattern as the ones at the crime scene. However, if Ben had stepped in Cory's blood, it would be foolish for him to wear the same shoes again. The detectives decided to obtain a search warrant for Ben's property to see if they could find any Air Force Ones or the murder weapon. Several officers headed over to execute the warrant, and they were once again met by Jimmy, who seemed to be doing an investigation of his own and was beginning to wonder if Ben was a killer.
And this dude's already got a pistol. I hear about a murder. Somebody's involved, okay? There's wouldn't be guns around if somebody wasn't involved in something stupid.
After speaking to Jimmy, they followed him inside to begin the search. Inside the home, there were clothes and other items scattered everywhere. Unfortunately, the investigators were unable to locate any Air Force Ones, and the only gun that they could locate was a black BB gun. They still needed to find the black and pink pistol that the two women had told them about. They updated the detectives back at the station, who then asked Ben directly if there were any weapons present while hanging out with Cory.
Were there any weapons in the house last night that you saw? As far as I tried my own business, I mean, I had a weapon on there. Was there a pink and black weapon there? Yes. What was that? That was the airsoft. The airsoft gun? Who was that? Airsoft. Curious?
Ben told them where they could find this black and pink gun, and the investigators were able to locate it and confirm that it was an airsoft gun. With nothing pointing towards Ben's involvement, the investigators concluded the search, and Ben was ruled out as a suspect. But since Ben was staying at Cory's house frequently, the detectives wondered if he had any information that could help them track down their killer. So they asked him a few more questions.
Do you have any idea who would want to hurt Cory? Stay honest, no. I really don't.
Now, wouldn't it be a plot twist if the Army veteran was the one who shot the victim? Because And the reason why I'm saying that, and, I hate to say that because, I don't like when my fellow veterans get in trouble and stuff. But the reason why I'm saying that is because he was very adamant, depending on his roommate. Right? When the cops came and they took the lead with what the ladies were saying, he was adamant. He was like, yeah, he got guns all over the house and stuff like, but sir, you're an Army veteran. Yeah, y'all have guns too. Right? You have guns too. But he was just very adamant to, make the cops believe initially, like, you need to really, like, look at him. What if that was a way for him to be like, hey, this is a young man. He probably have committed crimes before. He probably already has a record, right? It would be more believable that he would do something like that than necessarily him. We have seen some cases where veterans will use their veteran status to commit crime, and for the, I guess, they have more leeway to be believable that they wouldn't commit something than a regular civilian, right? Because you went through the training, you went through boot camp, you served, you serve with integrity, especially if you get honorably discharged or you got disabled. You know what I'm saying? So people initially think the best because you are supposed to be the best, you know what I'm saying, by you being a person who served your country. So because of that, people will give you more grace before they would do a regular civilian. So to me personally, I think that that might be this situation, that he tried to literally set this young man up, his roommate. He was probably sick of him. He's young. He want to play his music. He want to have different girls over and all that stuff. He only want to pay a certain amount of bills. He was probably sick of him. He figured that he's a criminal anyway. What would worry if I pin a murder charge on him, right? But then now I'm still trying to figure out, if I go down that avenue, what was your intent for even, shooting this guy? I mean, clearly this guy, he already admitted that it was his airsoft gun, but that doesn't mean he shot it. If he's sharing a house with another person, that person could have used his gun. But we'll see. We'll see. That is just my take on it. I'm not right. Like I said, I haven't seen this before. I'm just looking at it now. So we'll figure out what's going on. William says, set him up as a pasty covenant for him, and Ben was there. Right. That's what I believe. I do believe that that's what's going on. Hey, Bama boy, how are you doing? It's good to see you again. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, sir. All right. Let's play a little bit more.
Hopefully he's chill. With my brother. And
Now, Cory's been selling his stuff recently, right? You know about that, right?
gave her a bunch of clothes, gave me some things.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's had a lot of money around there. And you told anybody that you had any money around the house?
No.
Did you tell anybody?
No.
The detectives asked Ben if anybody suspicious had ever come around while Cory was selling his things.
I mean, I had a few people come over, but that was one of those being that black person. And the bigger black guy.
Apparently, a black man was at Cory's house the night before his murder. He had seen Cory's listings online and wanted to check something out before buying it. But Ben said something felt off about his behavior. The detectives looked into Cory's phone records and discovered a call at 7:08 a.m. from somebody named Brandon Brown, who fit the description that Ben provided. Brandon has an extensive criminal history dating all the way back to a battery charge in 1999. Looking through Brandon's social media, the detectives discovered that he drove a white Chevy Trailblazer. On June 23rd, 2019, law enforcement...
So there we go. See? I can admit I was wrong. It wasn't a veteran. So now I have a better picture about what happened. They were selling things on eBay. One of the sellers that they were selling things on eBay, they were talking shit. They was saying, yeah, this, I buy certain things from this guy and whatever not. And, they got money. So something was said that tipped this guy off to make him believe that it would be an easy lick if he would just go over there and rob this dude. Now, I don't know if he really intended to shoot him. Maybe there was a scuffle and he had to shoot him. Who knows? But that car was the exact car that drove by that man's house at that time. And unless this man lives near him or lives in his neighborhood, why was he over there, right? So now I'm assuming that this guy can possibly be the suspect. So obviously they're going to probably come and grab him up, detain him a little bit, ask him a couple of questions, especially now that they know that he was at the younger gentleman's house prior to the victim being shot. So let's go on. Oh, hey, Lana, how are you? I hope you're having a great Sunday, dear. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Let's go on.
Went to Brandon's address, but the trailblazer was nowhere to be found, and it appeared that nobody was home. Law enforcement revisited the home later that afternoon, and there it was, parked in front of the house. The officers staked out the property for a while, until eventually, Brandon and his wife Jessica exited their home and entered the vehicle. As they came driving down the street, the officers pulled them over, body cams rolling.
Man, you step out the car, man. So you turn away from it.
The officers placed both Brandon and Jessica in handcuffs and escorted them to separate police cruisers.
You don't have any ID? You have a driver's license? You have a state ID?
As they were transported down to the station, the Chevy Trailblazer was seized and taken to the state crime lab for forensic testing. Once Brandon arrived at the station, the first order of business was snapping a mugshot of him. They then made their way to the interrogation room, where they left Brandon by himself as he waited for the lead detectives.
Hey, Brandon. How you doing? Good. Any idea why you're down here?
All I was doing, trying to enjoy my Sunday, y'all. Went to church and work.
Yeah, off the bat, it seemed like he knows why they brung him down there. I was just going off of his body expression when he was in, when they first brought him in the interrogation room. He seemed like kind of like defeated. That's what I got from him. I could be wrong, but it makes sense that they had to bring him in, right? And Gomez said something that was very profound, which is the truth. Social media always has a past, present, and future evidence. Beware. Yes, absolutely. Nowadays, there is a camera everywhere. A lot of these new TVs that we're getting, the LCDs and the LEDs, they come in with built-in cameras in them that I guess that particular company for that TV, they have access to. There's cameras everywhere. So you have to just keep that in mind going forward. Hey, how you doing, Lloyd? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everything is well. Hope everything's well. Happy Sunday. Flower said, just don't commit a crime. I agree. Just don't commit a crime, but that's not what people want to do. Self-defense card? Nope. Absolutely not. He had no reason to be in that man's house. Obama says, social media has some freaks in it. Yes, they do. Bruce says, simple as that. Don't start none, won't be none. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
The detectives asked Brandon if he knew anyone by the name of Cory Hughes. He said that he and Cory were actually friends.
You ever been to his house? Yeah, I've been to Cory's house. I went to Cory's house.
Hey, Black Beauty, how are you? Happy Sunday.
Brandon claimed that this was the last time he saw Cory, but the detectives were confident that this was his vehicle caught on camera the morning that Cory was discovered. To be 100% certain, the detectives asked Brandon to describe his vehicle.
We got some questions about your trailblazer. Mm-hmm. Is there anything on the trailblazer that makes it stick out? What about the wheels?
Brandon told them that one of the tires was flat, and the spare tire that they replaced it with had a different color rim.
Her grandfather came over and helped me change that.
Which one was that?
on the passenger side.
Brandon described all of the same unique features as the trailblazer that was caught on the security cameras. But when shown a screenshot of the footage, Brandon wouldn't admit that the vehicle was his.
Is this your? It looks like mine, but I know the white one has one just like ours.
Just like yours?
Yeah.
Has the same tire?
Guys, truly appreciate you, little bro.
Brandon said that he didn't know this other driver personally, but he sometimes saw him driving around town. Since Brandon was being stubborn, they put the questioning on pause and went to a separate room to question Jessica.
All right, Jessica. My name is Detective Jones. This is Detective Evans. It's Jessica, right? I've already met you, but
Yeah, that is a possibility.
What's your last
Good
name?
catch, William. Good catch.
Okay. Would this be yours with the Misty Cup cap?
Yeah, that is one.
That was yours?
Yeah, because we had a flat tire, a blowout, and we had to change.
So now they're interrogating his wife. It makes perfect sense, right? They're going to do the divide and conquer. That is a tactic, right? If you start questioning them and then you start telling them that they might be considered accomplice of a crime, they might tell the information that they need to actually get the conviction, right? So this is what they're doing now. I expect them to do that. But let's see if she's one of those ride or dies. And I don't know nothing. I ain't seen nothing. I wasn't there. I wasn't doing nothing. I don't know nothing. Let's see if she's one of those. Oh, you were? Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that last lady was crazy. She was getting on my nerves. That lady was getting on my nerves. Okay. Let's go on.
The tire.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So is that a spare tire on there?
Yeah, it's a spare tire.
Does it have a sunroof as well?
Yes, it does.
Jessica had no problem confirming that the vehicle in the footage was their car. However, unless the detectives found more evidence, it would be Jessica's word against Brandon's. So before confronting Brandon again, they decided to look for more surveillance footage between his house and Cory's house that would encourage Brandon to confess. On the morning of the murder, at 6:51 a.m., a white trailblazer was captured pulling into a Phillips 66 gas station, less than a mile away from Cory's house. Brandon can be seen exiting the vehicle and entering the store, heading straight for the soda fountain. From this angle, the detectives were able to clearly see Brandon's outfit, including the shoes he was wearing. Black and red Nike Air Force Ones. Brandon then pays for his drink, exits the store, gets in his car, and drives off. He turns onto East Missouri Street, headed in the same direction as Cory's house. To drive the nail in the coffin, the detectives quickly obtained a search warrant for Brandon's home, and immediately went there to execute it. The lights weren't working, so they had no choice but to conduct the search in the dark and use their flashlights. During the search, the investigators discovered 2 firearms, a Beretta 9mm and a Bersa Thunder 380. The 380 matched the shell casing found at the crime scene. Now that they had a statement from Jessica, a host of damning surveillance footage, and what was believed to be the murder weapon, the detectives were finally ready to confront Brandon again. Just as the questioning was about to start, Brandon tried to retreat into his shirt, hoping that the detectives wouldn't find him. But the detectives weren't fooled by his expert camouflage, and after presenting all of the new evidence
Not the video essay is trying to crack jokes, talking about he tried to camouflage by putting his body in his shirt, but they were experts and they were able to see him. That is funny. I'm telling you, the whole world can see him. He ain't hiding from nobody, right? What he's hiding from is his consequences. That is the reason why he's putting himself inside his shirt, right? That is a nervous reaction. He knows that he is caught. He knows that they was going to interview his wife. So now he's feeling the pressure. That was funny though. The video essay, they said he was trying to hide. I thought that was funny. My bad. I thought that was funny. So now they need just what they really need from him with all those damaging evidence, right? Because now they can go find those sneakers. I don't think he's that bright. Because number one, you kept the murder weapon, right? You kept the murder weapon. They found you not too far on a surveillance camera inside one of the gas stations that wasn't too far from the guy's house. So I don't think that you're going to be that smart to get rid of those sneakers either. I'm sure you probably thought just washing it would be good. I don't think you got rid of those sneakers. So now what they just need him is to actually just confess. So they're going to put the heat on him now. You can already just tell by looking at the video that they're about to go in on him, no holds bar. Let's see. Rico said guilty. Yeah, he's guilty. He's guilty. Flower, I know. He's Rico. Right. Uh-huh. Oh no, I don't know. I don't even want to know what's that's called.
To him. They called him out for lying to them earlier.
So, okay. You haven't been.
Listen, grandbaby is
At
more
first, he
important,
continued to
Sean.
deny his
You better
involvement,
speak to
but the
her.
more the detective
You wanna
applied
speak to her,
pressure,
Papa?
the more clear it became that the guilt was weighing on Brandon. Suddenly, he gave in.
Do you want to tell me about that morning? Did things get out of control? Okay.
Brandon said that he had planned to meet Cory at his house to purchase an item from him. But that morning, he had a strange feeling that something bad was going to happen. So he brought his gun with him.
Okay. What happened at the house?
I was starting to knock on the door and I just felt something wasn't right.
Okay.
When Cory answered the door, something seemed off about the way he was acting. He invited Brandon inside the house when suddenly...
He just clocked out.
Okay. When you say clocked out, what do you mean?
Just like some switch went on him.
So he was angry?
Brandon said that as they walked into the kitchen, Cory suddenly pulled a knife on him.
Can you describe it?
Just a kitchen knife.
Okay, so it was a kitchen knife?
Apparently, just as Cory swung the knife at him, Brandon blacked out and heard a bang. The next thing...
So obviously we see that he's going for the self-defense claim. He felt that he was going to be sticked up. He went to go see the item that was selling on eBay. He got weary. He had the gun with him already. And now he's going with the Cory probably felt the same way, that maybe this guy wanted to stick him up or rob him. And he pulled out a knife for protection. And from there, I guess they collided and he shot him in self-defense. But my thing is, if that's the case, why run? You should have had called the police. You should have had let him know, like, listen, I came over here looking to buy an item and I felt that I was going to get sticked up or robbed because they knew I had money because I was going over there to purchase something. I got in a fist fight with this guy. He pulled out a knife. I shot him. I never wanted to shoot him. I only wanted to come and get you should have did that, right? But you went and you left and you went to church the next following day with your wife and act like nothing never happened. So it's going to be really hard to pretty much, I guess, prove. It's going to be hard to prove that your story is actually factual, right? Because going just off the evidence, they're going to look at it as you're the one who came over there to rob someone. And then on top of that, you did actually rob him, right? You didn't take the item that you want. You took $60 from him that was on the table. So you ended up robbing him after you shot him. So nothing leans up as you never meant this to happen and that you was put in a bad situation. It's going to be hard. And mind you, the guy, the victim, he's not here to tell his side of the story either. So they're only going to go off of the evidence, and it doesn't look good for you. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Let's see. Yes, please like the live. Truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. Sean said, just coming back, but I don't believe that about the knife. It was a robbery. Yeah, I don't believe that either. It's very I really don't believe that. I don't. I really don't. But let's go on. Let's hear what else he has to say. We obviously know he's going to go with the self-defense claim. He would have did better if he shut his mouth, got a lawyer or a public defender, whatever he can afford, and they would have probably told him to go with, possibly manslaughter or something like that.
He remembered was driving down the street and realizing what had just happened.
Okay. Did you have a gun?
You got the evidence, man. So
is it the 380 from the house?
We both know what that is, man.
Although Brandon seemed to show remorse, his story didn't make sense due to the position of the body and the angle that the bullet struck Cory's head. As far as the detectives were concerned, this wasn't a case of self-defense. This was cold-blooded murder. In Indiana, the judicial system does not classify murder into different degrees. Instead, there are only two offenses that a murderer can be charged with: murder or murder by aggravating circumstances. Despite his criminal past, there weren't enough aggravating factors to charge Brandon with the latter. So Brandon was charged with murder.
Brandon Brown is accused of killing 27-year-old Cory Hughes. Investigators were able to track down Brown through surveillance video. Brown faces charges of murder and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He was ordered to return to court on July 8th.
On June 30th, 2019, Megan and Cory's families held a memorial.
Now, Hughes' family remembers their loved one and tries to move on.
Cory is a very special person to us and our family. You know, whether it's getting dirty or doing whatever, you know, Cory would help anybody and not ask for a dime.
Now, family and friends say goodbye to Cory with messages on balloons and seek justice in the courtroom.
It's not going to hurt him sitting in jail forever. It's going to hurt these kids and not having a father for the rest of their life. And we will make sure to be at every court date, every hearing, everything to make sure this guy receives justice.
Thankfully, Cory's family wouldn't have to relive this tragedy during a trial, because on June 8th, 2020, Brandon took a plea deal. In exchange for a guilty plea for the murder and Brandon waiving his rights to appeal his conviction, the state agreed to dismiss the firearm charge. At his sentencing hearing, Brandon gave a statement in which he accepted full responsibility for his actions, apologized, and asked the court to impose the maximum sentence. He was sentenced to 55 years in prison and was given an additional 10 years for being a repeat offender. Brandon Brown currently resides at the Wabash Valley Correctional Institute in Carlisle, Indiana. He is set to be released in the year 2068. And as for Jimmy, he sadly passed away in September of 2021 at the age of 39. Through a bizarre series of events, it was Jimmy's paranoia that helped bring the perpetrator to justice. If he hadn't believed that his roommate was a killer, the detectives may have never spoken to Ben, and subsequently may have never learned the name Brandon Brown. Although he is no longer with us, his crucial role in the case of Cory Hughes will never be forgotten.
So that was a very interesting case, and I loved how they expressed how the veteran literally helped the cops, find out who the actual killer is and to give some form of justice to Cory and his family, right? Because if he wasn't thinking that his roommate was a killer, then he, like I said, they would have never went over there to speak to Ben or even got a chance to speak to Ben. And I'm sorry, Brandon Brown could have had possibly went on living his best life and going to church and acting like he didn't unalive a person for many, many years. It seemed like he did have remorse afterwards for what he did, and he asked for the maximum sentence, right? You're gonna have to serve the time. You do the crime, you serve your time. It is what it is, right? And just rest in peace to the Cory, who lost his life. Again, don't really even know why he lost his life. You should have just went over there and bought the item. And if you don't have the money to buy the item, that means that you're not supposed to have it until you do. That's what it is. It is what it is, right? Got to stop all this stealing bullshit. All right. So that was a nice short one. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's go on with the next one. Oh, hey. Hi, Jamie. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hope everything's going well with you. Truly appreciate you stopping by. Sean said Cory was selling his belongings to move, but this happens. Got to be heart-wrenching for Cory's family. Yeah, it does. Flower said dropping the weapon charge didn't help much. It sure didn't. And like I said, he was a repeated offender because, usually it's 3 strikes, you're out. Lately, it's been like 15 strikes and maybe you might be out. Like, that's how things been going lately. So I don't know. All right. So the next case I have for you, good folks, again, make sure you're hitting the like button for me. Truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. Is a It's about a secret, right? So there's a shocking secret that is going to be exposed, and this is like almost nearly a decade old. Again, one of these cases that I have never seen before, but I wanted to review it with you guys. So let me go ahead and pull up my screen and we can get into it.
Today's video begins on the morning of April 28th, 2004, when the police find the body of Tommy Hope lying on his kitchen floor, covered in stab wounds. Tommy was a known drug addict who would use drugs to cope with the trauma he suffered as a youth and while he was in the military. Despite initial efforts, the investigation quickly stalled due to the lack of witnesses, suspects, and no clear motive. The case would remain cold for more than 9 years, until April of 2013, when Pastor Jerry Sousley made an unexpected call to the authorities, requesting a formal interview. He claimed that he was being threatened by a member of his own congregation, a woman named Clara Rector. What the pastor revealed next would uncover a decade of buried secrets.
Well, I'm the pastor at Campbell Bible Baptist Church, and Clara and her husband Jason, her 3 children, are members there. I knew Clara kind of was, she was different. I know she struggled with some things. I was able to help her on some things, her and Jason together. I'm real conscientious about pastors and women. In other words, it was him and her, when we would talk and do those types of things. And Claire showed up about 9:30, something like that. And she said, Pastor Jerry, I need to tell you something. And I said, okay. So we kind of went over to the side, and she began to tell me about this. She told me his name. I know it's Tommy Holt now, but I don't remember if that's the name she used. But she did talk about where he lived behind.
Hey, Myron, how you doing? Shout out to Montreal, Canada. We're going over an old case.
She had, got on drugs again. She's had substance abuse problems.
I don't know, Deborah.
Put in with this guy and left her husband and kids and all these things. And then she just was telling me this thing. And then she just kind of stopped and put her head down and she said, and I killed him. Just kind of matter-of-factly. And I said, what do you mean you killed him? And she said, I stabbed him. I didn't really know what to say. I don't remember exactly what I said. It was 4th of July. She said, and I know that it wasn't the drugs. She said, I knew what I was doing. I was mad because he wouldn't give me the drugs that I wanted, and I killed him. And Jason said, we went and saw the lawyer. He said that we don't have to say anything, that the burden proves police, so we just kind of need to forget about it. And I'm like, then what? And Claire, she was sitting on the pastor's side. She said, now, Pastor Jerry, if you feel like you need to do what you got to do, you go ahead. We won't be, I always felt like she was wanting to, but.
So this guy is he's telling a lot of details, right? Now, I don't know, like the way how he's telling the details, like, was he involved in it? Like, or did she just like spill her guts to him one day while under the influence? Because he's giving so much detail. He's even expressing what was her mindset in this whole situation. Like he knew what she was thinking. So that's a little bit concerning to me. He said, why does the 4th of July matter? I don't know. Hopefully this ain't maybe it would be good if this is somewhat of a serial killer kind of situation. Not too sure. But yeah, I'm kind of concerned about how he's telling the story. I'm a little concerned because he's not telling it from like, this is all I know. He's telling it like he knows her mindset. He knew everything from inside and out, why she did this, why she did that, what we need to do, who she needs to see, how long she's going to, how long she's going to be there. He's telling it from like he was involved, which is kind of troubling to me. But let's go on. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Her family was holding her back, and I didn't really know. I wish I would have went in. I called the Christian Law Association just to see, what they said. Well, we don't have a legal obligation to.
The pastor explains that Clara had told her husband and her family what she had done, and after speaking with him and their lawyer, they decided it was best not to go to the police. The detective wants to know why the pastor decided it was time to report the murder, and he's shocked by what the pastor tells him.
Now, in the meantime, during all that.
Hold on. You mean to tell me this man is a pastor? You're a pastor, and one of your sheeps that's a part of your parish tells you that they committed a murder, and instead of you calling the police and letting everything play out, you in fact decided to help her, get your lawyer involved, and I guess whatever they told you didn't look good for her, and you decided to just keep it quiet. So you was an accomplice and you're a pastor? Like, did I really just hear that?
You were the chosen one!
Like, my God, wow. That is crazy. And then now you're coming back years later, and now you want to tell the detectives about, I guess, the initial murder that she did, because what did she do, Pastor? Did she come to you again stating that she committed another unaliving and that she needs your help and assistance? And you like, oh no, one is all right, but two is not enough. You know what? Let me go ahead and play this because I'm getting highly upset. Bruce said this guy is a pastor. Yep, he's a pastor. Not go to the police. Suspicious, right? Flower says strange. Yes. Jamie said, yeah, this guy is a pastor. So crazy. Not of a man of God. I don't understand. Like, I'm really like shocked right now. I'm really, really, really shocked.
That she began to like leave a note on my desk, and they were I don't even remember the subject matter. It was just maybe a Bible question, but I didn't like it. And again, I told Jason, I said, Jason, Claire leaves me these little notes. I said, I don't want people getting the wrong idea, and I'm real uncomfortable with her doing that. So I appreciate it, she wouldn't do that. He said, and this kind of went on, and it wouldn't happen for a while, then I'd get another one. And then I got one time, and they were it's almost like a teenage kid, and she would sign it with heart and love CJ. And again, every time I'd tell Jason, and finally I got where I could talk to Claire. I said, Claire, you come and talk to me. I said, but you can't do this. One morning I got up real early here, it's like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, wait. The plot thickens. So now it kind of makes sense why you didn't tell the police or inform the police that she actually killed her husband. This woman had a crush on you. Was you dealing with this woman? And then now when she's sending notes and stuff like that, like a teenage schoolgirl crush, you was afraid that you would be exposed? Or was you afraid that she might actually harm your wife? Is that the reason now why you're willing to rat on her because you had no problem not ratting on her before. Is that what happened? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Joanne said, I just got back. This guy hid the sin. Is he a Catholic? I don't know what church it is. I don't know what religion it is, but wow, I'm stunned. I'm so stunned. Jamie said he sounds so cocky, like he uses a pastor as a title for his right away. Yeah, it's really madness. Really madness. Flower said maybe he was enjoying the crush. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I believe that he was actually involved with this woman because remember, it threw me off how he knew how this woman was thinking, right? He knew what she thought and how she wanted to perceive things. He knew her inside and out. And now to come to find out that she was sending you notes like a schoolgirl crush saying, with love, CJ, but you're supposed to be her pastor, right? You're not supposed to be her friend, you know, in that particular type of way. You know, you're not even supposed to be her mate. You're supposed to be her pastor, her spiritual guidance, spiritual guidance counselor, really, right? But now she's passing you notes like with love and all the stuff like that. Yikes. Or vice versa as far as the crush, right? Right. Flower said, I think Baptist. God damn it. Darn it. All right, let's go on.
And there's a note taped to my car door, you know, and I don't remember what it was about. And she was complaining about something that happened in the church. I don't remember, you know. Let my wife kind of know these things too, you know, as it was going on. And these were sporadic, you know, several weeks, a month or two go by, nothing would happen, and those types of things. Then I got a note from her one. She came to church on Wednesday night, which she don't do very much.
I believe so.
I noticed when I was teaching,
yeah, I do too. I believe so.
The whole time writing, the whole time. And I had to take, the bus driver wasn't there, so I took the kids home, and I come back, and there's a letter on my desk from her. And she's complaining about how she feels left out of the church, and that her and her family are probably going to go find another church. And then she wrote that, plus, you're a big distraction to me. Something along the lines, you're very attractive, I think was the word she put. I don't have it anymore. But
I called it. Didn't I call it?
And my office has windows. You can see in the window. And I left the door open, and I told her, I said, Claire, I said, you.
Oh, yeah.
That was very appropriate.
Definitely.
You cannot do that.
Oh, let me pause
I'm
this.
looking at these things from
Let
a
me
spiritual
pause
standpoint.
this. How dare you talk about her sending a letter is inappropriate? Sir, you covered up a murder for her. Don't you think that is inappropriate? Especially you supposed to be a man of God. You don't think that that's inappropriate? But her sending a letter to you saying that she's attracted to you and she feeling like she's not belonging for the church, that means you wasn't showing her any attention. And if she felt that way, that means that she thought you felt the same way about her. That's why your body language changed, sir, while you was talking about this talking about the story, because you know you was feeding into her illusion of you and her was going to be together after she got rid of her husband. You helped her cover it up, right? So why wouldn't she think that you don't find her attractive or you're not in love with her if you're willing to cover up a murder for her? Of course she's going to be convinced that you love her and you want to be with her that way and that y'all are soulmates. Now you want to play it off like you had no involvement with her feeling that way. That's crazy. Crazy work. Like, oh my God, if I would have turned on my camera, I'm gonna turn on my camera. You know, I'll be having these crazy faces. If I would turn on my camera now, y'all be laughing because I'm like, yo, bug eye and awe. Like, what? Carla said, you called it. I did. James said, how are you doing, James? He said, he's clearly a serial killer. He's definitely an accomplice, I tell you that much. Dude thinks he's Enrique Suave. He sure do, don't he? Sweetheart said, he is not a man of God. No, he's not. He's not. Absolutely not. William says, as a pastor, you have a moral obligation to inform the police and pro-life and God's law, as well as the law of the state and country. He was flattered by her affections and afraid of being exposed. Yes, he took, like, whether or not if he took advantage of her, I think he did. I think he took advantage of the fact that she came with him with this information. He covered for her. Whatever happened, whether they had a relationship or not, at one point we could tell by the story it stopped. And that's why she felt like she needed to go to a different church and that her family was going to a different church. But she's sending him love notes, letting her, pretty much spilling out her guts for him and how she feels. And now he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down, baby girl, slow down. I'm not going to marry you. I'm not divorcing my wife for you. I'm not, I'm not doing any of that. That was never on the table. That was never on the table, baby girl. Let's go on. This is getting really twisted. And we are only 6 minutes in.
I said, that's of the devil. It's right out of the pit of hell. I said, that destroys churches. It destroys families. I'm married. I got a family. You have a family. I said, it's uncalled for something like that. And she said she was sorry, and that she wouldn't do it. But it was Tuesday. I came in, and there was this little spiral notebook that opens this way. Not like yours, but something like this. Yeah, like that. Yeah, about that size. I felt like that. Put a paper front.
Super doofus.
And on the front of it, it just has random stuff written all over it. This is my book.
Yes.
This
And
is a story. Read it. Tell me what you think.
Being the head of the church.
And I kind of skimmed through it because right away I knew what it was. And it was about a woman who was in love with her pastor. And she's talking about his big feet, his big hands, and his dark, dreamy eyes. And I know I can't have him, but I can't help how I feel. And then she gets into some explicit sexual encounters that she wants to have. Because first of all, she just laid it on my desk where my wife could have picked it up. Or my little girl, she's 11. She's able to be written. And that really made me mad. So I called Jason again. I said, Jason, here's the thing. I said, this has got to stop. I said, you guys are going to have to find another church. I said, because this is, I can't.
Ooh, this guy is making me so mad. You are more concerned that she can possibly ruin your marriage. And it seems like she's actively trying to ruin your marriage by leaving notebooks and stuff where your children or your wife can see how she feels about you or expressing her feelings. You're more concerned about that. And that was drawing the line, but not you covering up her killing her husband. And you mean to tell me you want me to believe that you wasn't taking advantage of this woman? You want me to really believe that you were not taking advantage of this woman when you are more concerned about her destroying your marriage than her unaliving her husband, and you helped her. You didn't call the cops. You went and got a lawyer for her. And then y'all just left, you let it be. You let it be. You didn't do anything that you were supposed to do as a spiritual guider. Nothing. But now, I gotta draw the line. She's trying to ruin my marriage. Hold up. Nah, man. Nah. Hey, how you doing, Classic Info? How are you? Carla said, soft porn for plaster hearing, that stuff he liked. Flower says something's wrong here. Yeah, something's really wrong. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, now I'm kind of worried. Did you help her unalive her husband? That's what I'm getting from it now, because you can't tell me enough was enough when she's sending you schoolgirl notes. She's sending stuff so your daughter or your wife can find it, right? To ruin your marriage. That is, you know what? That's drawing a line. You need to go to another church. You can't continue to do this anymore. But not her admitting to you that she unalived her husband, though. This is what you want me to believe. Okay. All right. Okay. William said false concern tasted the forbidden fruit and wants to distance himself from it. And he is already guilty of perverting the course of justice, blackmail for sex with her, concealment of crime. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. And at this point, I believe he was involved with her unaliving her husband. Probably one of the reasons why he helped get her a lawyer and didn't tell the police and let it go under the wraps. But then now when she was threatening his family, his situation, his career as a pastor, now is, I need to get her out of here. I need to get her out of here right now. She's trying to destroy what I have spent my whole life build, the whole facade that I have built for my community and everything. She's about to destroy it. Now I have to get rid of her. Nope. Sean said he definitely knew she was going to unalive her husband. He didn't want to be involved. Right. He knew. He knew. I think he was involved. Seriously. To be that much of an accomplice to that. Because now, remember, you are still an accomplice, sir. You knew the information. You didn't call the police. In fact, you had many conversations with her, how y'all was going to get, how you was going to handle it. You even let her use your lawyer on retainer to do it. No, you had too much stake in the game.
Deal with this.
You felt that crossed the line?
Yeah, I said, that's it. I said, I cannot help her anymore.
Okay.
And he said, I understand, Pastor. I don't know what I'm going to do, and so forth, so on. And so I said, now I want to throw this book away. And he said, well, I would like to have it. So she started texting me, why won't you talk to me? I just need somebody. I need a friend. You're the only one that I talk to. But I wouldn't answer her. Then Jason called me, and I guess she was having some type of meltdown. I think she's doing drugs again or something, some kind of substance abuse. Well, then I think she actually texted me back a little later saying everything's okay now. I'm taking a nap. And, I was like, well, whatever. Started texting me again and talking about how, I just need somebody to talk to, why are you don't seem to want to help me and these types of things. And I'm not responding to her, because I'm just trying to distance myself as much as possible. The phone rings and I started yelling again. Anyway, I answered it and it was her. And she said, hey, and I went, hey, and she said, so what'd you think about my book? Now, a couple of days has passed, and I was kind of surprised she didn't, I guess Jason hadn't told her. I didn't tell her I gave Jason the book, but I said, Clara, I didn't like the book. I think it's inappropriate, and I don't want you to do that anymore, And so she hung up on me and then texted me back and said, it was just a fantasy. It's not real. It's all fiction. I'm just writing a book. I just wanted to share it with you. And then I didn't answer it. And then she texted me back again. You're right. It's not fiction. Which, that's how she does. She's just all over the place. She said, Jerry, and she's never called me by my first name. She said, Jerry, if you tell the law what you know about me, I will destroy you. I will effing destroy you. She used the word, and I just hung up.
After listening to the pastor's story, the detective has a few questions for him. While they finish up, the detective has already told the other officers to find Clara and arrest her for stalking.
And she said, I want to turn myself in. Now, something else that she said that I didn't tell you was very important. She also talked to me about how she went home and was covered in, and I think Jason, I want to say they went back there for what I don't remember, but I do know that she told me that they had burnt her clothes, burnt them in a barrel.
Did she tell you that they both went back to the house, or Jason?
I for some reason, I don't specifically remember her saying that, but I believe that she did. I believe that they went back to where it happened. If you talk to her, she acts like about a 15, 16-year-old girl. In other words, I've watched her interacting with her kids, and she like runs and like, it's like a kid. She's like just silly. When she said she would destroy me, that's when I said, okay, we gotta take care of this.
Okay, so when she...
It's quite disturbing for the simple fact that he's sitting there and he thinks that, oh, now I have to take care of this after she said that she would destroy you. So you are supposed to be a spiritual person, and all you care about is yourself. That's all you care about. You care about your job, you care about now your marriage and everything like that. You don't care that the fact is that you knew in detail what happened to her husband, that she unalived her husband, what she did with the clothes, everything. You knew everything, and you did not call the police. And it's really, really, really sad to hear that for someone who's supposed to be a pastor. I'm sorry, you cannot convince me that he was not messing with this woman, especially how he was also talking about how he was egging her phone calls, but then he'll answer her phone calls. He was answering some messages, but he was reading it. You was all in, bro. You was all in. You was going back and forth with her, and the reason why you was continuing to go back and forth with her, even though you said that you was trying to separate yourself from her because you had some involvement with her and you was trying to keep her calm. You was trying to keep her to the level where it didn't show up today for you, where you had to go to the detectives. If as long as I keep everything cool and kosher with her and she feels that she has somewhat access to me, as long as I continue to breadcrumb her, I think we will be okay. But once she realized that you was playing games with her, you was playing with her mind, and just think about it too, right? He said that she act childlike. He said that she did drugs, or she had relapsed on drugs again. He fully took advantage of this girl. He knew that this girl had a hard life. He knew that this girl probably had some mental issues. She had attachment issues. He knew all of that as her spiritual guide, and he took advantage of that. He knew it, and like William said and Sean said in the chat, he liked the intention. She probably is an attractive woman. She, attractive, decent woman, probably a couple years younger than him, made him feel special, made him feel, good about himself, in a masculine type of way. And he utilized that. He utilized that until it was no longer a benefit to him. No longer a benefit to him. And now here we are. Now I need to tell what happened and what she did to her husband all these years later when you're affected. That's crazy. That is really, really crazy. Sean said that's her kids. I do that with my grands. I act their age when we are playing. Right. Flower said, yeah, he sounds like a terrible man. Definitely after doing this. Yes, I believe so. Yes. He won't call until she threatens him, right? Jamie said, yes, girl. He only cares about his ego. Yeah, he do. He do. Oh, you're just explaining that to Kathy? Thank you, Sean. William said, bit late in the day to deal with it. You took advantage of this woman and then you used it to your advantage. It's like fatal attraction in real life. You cheated and she was going to expose you for walking away. That's exactly what happened. Yes, William. Absolutely. He took advantage of this woman. He took advantage of the fact that she liked him. She was attracted to him. She has attachment issues. She has drug issues. She's not all the way, wrapped too tight. She's very childlike in her behaviors and stuff like that. He utilized it, and now when she flipped the script, saying, "Well, listen, if I can't have you, nobody gonna have you. I'm gonna ruin your marriage." Now it's hold on. I got to do something about this. We're going to have to take care of this. Not she was a full-blown murderer. Like you like you got to be a freaking idiot if you know this woman is a husband killer and you sit up there and you protect her. You know she got a thing for you. You pretty much answer her call when it comes down to that and expect that you won't be in the same boat. Like for real, you haven't seen the movie Fatal Attraction? You haven't seen the movie The War of the Roses? Like what's going on here? You look old enough. You had to see the movie Fatal Attraction. I don't know. But let's go on. This is getting really crazy.
He says, I will destroy you.
Effing destroy you.
Okay. What is it that she can do to you that you can possibly think of?
Other than destroy my reputation, I think she's street smart. And she knows, she knows the right words to say. Like she probably knew if she said, "I'll kill you," that would be, very serious. That's kind of an ambiguous remark. Mr. What do you mean by that? And I didn't ask her. I wish I had, but I didn't. I just took it as, like my reputation, and she probably would, say things, that aren't true. My one fear was, what if she went crazy again and killed somebody else?
Right.
And me knowing.
Imagine the guilt.
So it's just kind of come about, it's time to do something.
Yeah. Well, I think we all agree that this is the right thing to do. It's a hard thing to do, but sometimes, and I think I've heard you say it, the right thing is hard to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And sometimes you just got to do it, and because it's just escalating, and I think she would have used this later on down. It wasn't gonna go away.
Yeah.
She would have been hounding me from now on with it. So.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
The pastor was allowed to go home and no charges were brought against him for knowing about the murder and not telling the police. It wouldn't take long for Claire to be found and brought in for interrogation. The detectives decided they didn't want to scare Clara away, so they tell her
I'm pissed off. That's some bull crap. He was supposed to get some charges. How you let that man go home knowing that he was involved a whole lot more than what he's making it seem? He's trying to present himself that, oh, I was just trying to help and she's just infatuated and obsessed. No, she wasn't only infatuated, obsessed, just only from her own childlike mind. It was also what you was feeding into her. And on top of that, you knew she killed someone and you didn't say anything. You helped her. No. Why would they allow that? No, his reputation should be fucking destroyed. He should be stripped of his patronage or whatever parish or whatever. He should not be a part of spiritual guidance. He doesn't have it. Like, how you let him just go back to living his life and not letting his community know that this is what he would do. This is what he would do. Like, that don't sit right with me. That don't sit right with me at all. Everyone saw and hopefully learned from the fatal attraction, if that is or was your situation. Not saying that I know anything about that. I'm just saying, right.
she's being investigated for the incident with her pastor. This tactic is used to deceive the suspect into waiving their rights because the suspect believes they are being questioned about a minor crime. If the suspect knew they were involved in a murder investigation, they may ask for a lawyer. By the time the detectives bring up the murder investigation, the suspect will usually forget all about their rights.
I think the reason why you're being held here is because I guess there was an issue with your pastor with this notebook. This whole thing came up, okay? The man he's frightened. I don't know what it is you said to him, what you remember saying to him, or what was in that book, but the man's frightened. And so there's a reason why you're being held here right now until we can determine exactly what's going on. Probably goes back a lot deeper than this book that we're talking about. Apparently, Jason, your husband, has the book right now. And we know the contents of what was in it. Understand that it was a fantasy. We know that that's the way you explained it to the pastor, that it's fantasy, that we don't know if it was a crush or if it was just a simple fantasy, but you did take the opportunity to write some stuff down and gave it to him and that sort of thing.
I had feelings for him that I wasn't going to act on, and I knew that it was wrong to have them, and I couldn't explain it to him any other way. So I just wrote it in a story, and I wanted him to know that I would never do that. The man didn't trust me, and I just wanted him to be able to understand where I was coming from, and that I wouldn't, that's how I felt, but I would never do anything about it, and that's all I wrote.
Okay. We're just trying to understand what your intentions were ultimately, because like I said, the man's frightened. You kind of frightened him.
I just wanted him to know how I was feeling, and so that he wouldn't be scared to help me, because he's so worried about his image that he won't even come and visit and pray with us or help us. And so I just want to tell him how I felt before I left. I never threatened him.
Claire,
I never hurt the man.
Did you tell him when I think he called you, it seems like he said he called you.
His wife called me.
Ladies, stop lying, okay? You was not going to just be happy with telling and expressing how you felt and him knowing how you felt. You wanted a reaction out of him. Like, stop lying to yourself, okay? You don't write a book and send love notes and things of that sort, or try to ruin his marriage if you only just wanted to tell him how you felt. You could have did that with one phone call, one text message, got it out of your chest and kept it moving. You said that your family was going to go to a different church anyway because you felt that you didn't belong at his church anymore because you wasn't getting the attention that you wanted from him. You wanted him to look at your stuff and be like, oh my God, this person really, really has feelings for me. And maybe she is my soulmate. That was the reason why you did it. But you can't even, but like I said, she has attachment issues. She can't even admit to herself that it wasn't only about expressing your feelings to him. It was literally convincing and coercing him to belong to you. That's what that was. That was manipulation. You did it to manipulate that man. And then when you couldn't manipulate him by offering him the love and the sex and all the stuff like that, you went to threatening him, saying, I will destroy you. Now, mind you, he's a piece of shit of a man anyway, but you ain't no better. You ain't no better. Manipulation is manipulation. It doesn't matter what form or what gender does it. William said he was feeding her delusion and it will come back at him. And by leaving it to go to the police, it will come out in the trial that he obviously slept with her and used this woman in a vulnerable state. Yes, I do believe he did use her. And yes, absolutely. I do agree. Sean said, you and Jamie called to MJ, his ego. Yeah, absolutely. That's all he cares about. Flower says, some people are such a trip. Yeah, they are. And like I said, again, she's not going to admit it to herself. You wanted him to do what you wanted him to do. And that was, it's about time you leave your wife, be with me, and this is how it's going to go down. And when that didn't work, you threatened to destroy his life. Like I said, he's a piece of shit and you a piece of shit too. Let's go on.
And said, I think he told me that he didn't want you to come back to church. Something about the book was inappropriate.
Yeah.
And then he said about, I'll ruin you.
No.
What was it you said?
All I said, if you tell a bunch of people what I said in that book, then I will make you pay with the tip of my pencil. And all I meant was that I'll let other people read that book. That's all I meant. All I meant was I will... But I didn't want to let anyone else read my book except Pastor Jerry because it was about him. And if he couldn't handle the truth about that, then I wasn't going to write at all. And he couldn't handle it. Now I'm in jail. I didn't mean it. It was partly true and partly made up. It was just a story.
I'm glad that they didn't tell her. I'm so glad. I'm so glad they didn't tell her that she's actually being run down here, not because of her stalkerish behaviors and obsessive behavior with the pastor, that they know that you committed murder, that you killed your ex-husband. Because when they drop that bomb on her, I want to see her whole facade just completely change. I want to see her face and her mannerism completely change because she is a master manipulator right now. Master manipulator. She's bringing up the waterworks. She's saying, oh, I didn't say it in a threatening manner. I was just talking about my pen. If that was the case, you would have just said, if you do this or you tell somebody about anything that I did, I'm going to release this book to your wife and to the church, right? You could have just said that, but that's not what you said. You said that you was going to destroy him, right? So that you was alluding to that your relationship was the no-no. And it wasn't of a pastor and someone who is in their church, a constituent in the church. No, it was more than that. That's what you led with. Like, oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. William said it also has tones of basic instinct. Yeah. It does have tones of that. Either way, the pastor shouldn't have been let go for withholding information. I agree. If it was anybody else, would they have been let go? We have seen moms and parents and everybody get locked up and have to do the same amount of time for their kids just because they knew and they didn't say anything. This man ain't no different. He's no different, and they should have had treated him as such. From that, they will get an L. They dropped the ball. There. He's supposed to be treated as everyone else. He doesn't get grace when you can literally look at this and see that he was the puppet master in this whole situation, and she's a puppet that did not want to be a puppet anymore, right? That's all it is. Pinocchio wanted the strings cut. That's what it was.
I don't understand why I'm in jail for this long. Why I didn't mean to make him feel scared. I was trying to tell him that I wouldn't. And he didn't need to be scared of me. He's a chicken, He's a kind of a wimpy guy. He calls the police for anything.
I can't remember the exact threat. You say it again, what you told him.
I said, if you tell anybody what I wrote, I'll make you pay with the tip of my pencil.
Okay.
Because I didn't let anybody else read it. And I told him that nobody's read it except me and you.
Okay.
And so it's not really a threat to him what's in the book. If it's something that is only between me and him and nobody else even knows about it, how is that threatening? So I didn't want him to go telling everybody about it. I didn't know he was going to get so upset. There's nothing worse in my book than what's in the Bible. There's nothing worse in what I wrote than what's in the Bible. Told me in there that I'm going to prison for like 4 years because of this, and I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong.
to prison for 4 years. Chick, did you look that up and see how long you can go to jail for stalking and harassment? You see why I said that she's a master manipulator? She's a master manipulator. She even knew down to how much years she could possibly go to jail if he decide to press charges on you for stalking and harassment. Ciao. Woo, ciao. Sweetheart said, wow, yeah. He was trying to put everything on her. Yeah. Like, I want to see if he was involved. This pastor was involved. I mean, as of right now, he got let go. He's about to live his best life. But I want to see if he definitely implicated into the murder of her husband. Let's see. What you talking about, darling? Oh, we're going over a very old case. Apparently, a pastor was messing with one of his ladies that went to his church. She came to him and let him know that she killed her husband. He actually helped her and didn't call the police. And not until she started to go fatal attraction on him and threatened to expose his wife or the church that he helped her or that he was in a relationship with her, that is when he decided to call the police, get the police involved, and tell them everything that she did. This is brutal. It's really, really, really brutal. He was definitely involved. Oh, yeah. Yes, he was. Ciao. Yes, Miss Jalen. Ciao. William said it's down to the interpretation of destroy. You don't mean physically. Could be by exposing him with the book. Right. So destroy has to be reference to reputation. Mind you, she already hinted that that's what he was concerned of. So she knew that that would be something that would break him. So I don't think that she was going to actually physically harm him. If she was that in love with him, we do see fatal attraction. People do kill the people that they love, but she wants to be with him and she don't want him with his wife. If it ever got physical, she's the type of person that will unalive the wife, like how we seen with the movie Crush. You remember the movie Crush with Alicia Silverstone when she was young? She would do that, go after the wife and thinking that once I get the wife out the way, I could be with the guy. She would do that. She's one of those. She's one of those. Maybe she doesn't know he told them about her. No, she doesn't know yet, Flower. They kept that under the wrap. They brung her in under a stalking charge, right? So this is what she thinks she's here for. So they letting her talk, get all her feelings out and all that stuff like that. Then they're going to drop the bomb and let her know about the murder charge. So then we'll see how that plays out going forward, okay? Let's see if she becomes Miss Innocent puppy drunk love after that. You know, let's play a little bit more.
He kind of inferred, Claire, that you'd, like in the past, that you'd had a drug problem.
Yeah.
Then,
yeah.
was that a long time ago, or was that?
Oh, it's pretty much been pretty consistent with things over the years.
What were you doing?
Oh, I just did meth. And at first, I did coke, and then I got meth, and like pain pills, pot.
Oh gosh.
Just whatever I could get my hands on. But I was doing better until recently.
The detectives decided it's time to tell Clara the real reason why she's being interviewed. As soon as the detectives begin implying that they have more to talk about, Clara's expression changes and she appears very worried.
You think she ain't a psycho, Sean? She's a psycho.
I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to be honest as well.
Oh, thank you.
As far as what's going on here. We've talked to the pastor, and I mean, he's been, from what we know of, honest about what he said with his understanding of the things he said in the notebook. And he told us some other things too, and things that we already kind of knew. I've been working this area 6 years. side. And
You
so
know,
I've been around here, been doing this a
sniper
while.
gang,
And
sniper gang over here.
you know, different churches, but I'm a Christian too. And I believe in God, and I believe that He places things in our path at certain times of our life when the timing is right, when we need to see them. And so
I think I know what you're referring to.
What do you think it's about?
I lied to Pastor Jerry last summer because I was tired of working at the fireworks stand. I told him a bunch of stuff.
One of the reasons I wanted to come in here, and Eric and I needed to speak with you about all this, is because
I'm sorry, excuse my French, Joanne and all my ladies and everybody. Excuse my French. Her goofy ass talking about, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I lied to the pastor a long time ago around 4th of July about me killing my husband. Who lies like that? Who lies like that? Why would you lie about killing somebody? That don't make no damn sense. So now you want to play it off like, oh, I was just lying. It was just a joke. Really? So do you think that that's supposed to make you look better? Really? That you will lie and put the pastor in this position to feel like he is responsible for you so you can't get close to him? You really think that makes you look any better? I mean, it's not as worse as a murderer, but it doesn't make you look any better. Like this lady is just driving me insane. She's driving me insane. God, come get her. Miss Jalen, come get her. Come get her, Miss Jalen.
what I see is kind of a gathering together of pieces to where it's like the timing is right. And I feel like somebody's trying to tell me something, and if you're a believer, I think you would see that somebody is trying to tell you something. But what we do know, because I talked to you a long time ago, many, many years ago, and what you told me back then was that, you know, you had an affair with Tommy, and that you and your husband were having problems, and that he's the one that got you addicted to drugs. I'm the one that interviewed your husband Jason also. Went out, he was on work, he was working back then because he was on the job site. And a detective, Mike Schmidt, and I talked to Jason, and he said the same thing. He told us flat out, he said, guys, there was a time when I wanted him dead. He got my wife addicted to drugs. The whole reason she was in drugs is because of that man. And he flat out told us, I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad all this happened because I didn't like him. And you know what? Had I been in his shoes, I would have said the same darn thing. I would have had the same feelings.
The detectives knew that if they let Clara believe that the only evidence they had was the pastor's testimony, she would either deny telling the pastor or say she was lying to him to get his attention. With that in mind, the detectives spend the next 30 minutes explaining to Clara that DNA investigation has come a long way and they are able to put her at the scene.
For whatever reason, things happened that day and got out of control. Because the only options for guys like us when we look at this is either a person is cold-blooded and they're evil and they planned it, or it happened by accident.
It was an accident because I didn't think about it before it happened. It just happened.
That's what I believe.
But it doesn't matter because I deserve to be in jail for the rest of my life. And that's what I told Pastor Jerry. And he didn't care.
I know, you tried to tell him. You did. And he said that. And I scratched my head why a man of God didn't help you there. I wish I had an answer for you. But we're here now, Claire.
Well, what do you want me to do?
And here's what I think you need from this too. More importantly, it's not about what I think what you need.
I just want to tell the truth.
I need you to just tell the truth.
I want to.
Okay. I'm going to be quiet. Just tell me how and what led up to this and what happened. Just tell the truth.
He was supposed to get some coke. And he's like, well, come back to, later on, sneak out and come back and we'll get high. So I did. I snuck out of my house in the middle of the night because I really wanted to get high. And I showed up down there and the door was locked and he wouldn't let me in, so I had to crawl in through the window, and I talked to him for a while, and then, like, he didn't save me and I said just a little bit, and so he gave me enough that it got really, really high, but then there was no more, and we just started fighting and arguing, and he was going to ruin my life. And I thought that the only way that I could get my husband to not be mad at me for sneaking out and doing drugs and going back to Tom's, I couldn't see any other way out. I was desperate. All I wanted to do,
Then it wasn't an accident.
I wanted to be free from it.
Okay.
And we just started fighting, and I just grabbed the first thing that I saw and jumped on his back and started fighting with him, screaming at him that I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then all of a sudden he just fell over.
I want y'all to pay. I'm going to read the comments first before I say what I'm going to say. Someone with psychiatric drug infused history could say anything in that state. Not saying she didn't do it, but could have been for him to be sympathetic to her or comfort her in where this started. I agree. That could have happened. I still think he's involved though. Sean said, in church, in love with the pastor, unalived her husband, and a drug addict. Yep, that's what it seems. Bruce said, I just looked it up. If a person goes to a priest to confess a recent past sin, he is under no obligation to go to the authority except for child abuse. Maybe that needs to change. Don't you think? Gomez says the church and the 47th admins seek to block, overturn a new Washington state law, SBF 3775, requiring clergy and priests to report child abuse even when this. So now I'm going to say my statement. I want y'all to just pay attention. Y'all heard what she said. Pay attention to what she just said. At first, she said it was an accident. Now she said that she felt like she had no choice. She didn't want her husband to ruin her life. She just went to go get some drugs, and she went and grabbed the closest thing near her, jumped on his back. That means that he was not attacking her, as she keeps on trying to say that they were fighting. She jumped on his back and she stabbed him numerous of times. But she's very strategic to say she didn't say that she stabbed him. She just said, I jumped on his back. I grabbed something, the closest thing to me. I jumped on his back, and then I started fighting with him. She was very strategic to say fighting instead of saying exactly what she did to that man, which was stab him. And then she said he just fell over. No, he didn't just fall over. He literally dropped to his knees because he was being stabbed numerous of times, probably in his back, his shoulder, and his neck. But she said it in that way to make it seem like she didn't do anything. And that's why she led the pretense of saying that it was an accident. Master manipulator. Wicked. Very, 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 very wicked. Very wicked. And she knows words matter. She knows context matter.
At first, he was walking around, he's like, he went to the bathroom and he looked at his neck and he grabbed my arms and he made me throw the knife out. And I thought, you're going to be okay. And then he just fell over and I just kind of sat there. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And I didn't know what to do, so I just grabbed the knife and then I grabbed his wallet because I thought
Hey, Rita, how are you, dear? I hope
I
everything's
didn't
well
want to
with
get in
you.
trouble.
Yeah.
So I just jumped out the window and I ran. I knew I did something wrong. And I knew I was going to get in trouble, but then Jason, I told him what happened, and
He didn't want you to get in trouble.
he didn't want me to get
Sure.
in trouble, and I don't want
Sure.
him to get in trouble. We got kids, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's why you need to tell the truth.
I burned my clothes, and I used a grinder and ground up the knife so it was gone. And he just waited. And he didn't turn me in. Because he didn't want Tommy to ruin my life too, forever, and his and my kids.
You can understand that, though.
And I know I deserve to go to jail. Can you just not make
I'm glad to
Jason
hear that, Rita.
go to jail for anything? He didn't do anything. That's why I told Pastor Jerry, because Jason didn't do anything wrong.
Here's the thing. You're being honest about what happened.
Ricky. Yep.
And we're going to make sure we get to the truth of that. But to protect Jason, as far as doing the right thing, we need to make sure we're completely truthful about it, because we're going to go back. We're going to have to go back and ask Jason, talk to him.
But he didn't do anything,
I know he wasn't there.
anything wrong. He shouldn't have to suffer for this. I did it.
So he got rid of it. Hey, I would have done the same darn thing. Who wouldn't if they loved their wife?
Kill me for saying anything. My mom and dad took me to a lawyer and they said don't say anything. And I'm gonna get so much, but I can't afford a lawyer, so I don't care.
But understand, this was coming anyway. I mean, even before the pastor, or even before this came up, I mean, that's what I talk about. It's like, wow, this is meant to be.
I was losing my mind over this.
Clara explains that she would sneak out of her home she shared with her husband and 3 children to go use drugs with Tommy. She confesses that she killed Tommy and then fled the scene. When she got home, she told her husband everything, and he helped her dispose of her clothing and the murder weapon.
When this happened, I do have a couple questions that I hope you can remember back when this
I knew
happened.
you guys were I knew Jerry was gonna finally say something and help me finally.
But this wasn't about understanding. I mean, Jerry was one tiny piece of this. This was coming. How did you get in, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
I knew that the bedroom window was unlocked.
Yeah, that one if you're facing the house, the one on the left?
Right.
Correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
on the side.
Yeah, okay.
I knew it was unlocked because I had unlocked it earlier
Okay.
when I was in there smoking dope.
Okay. Yeah. And did you get high then?
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you guys use?
Needles.
The ones that were in the kitchen?
Yeah. And
Over there by the sink? And there was a cutting board in the kitchen?
Yeah, in the kitchen, that's where we did it.
Okay.
I got a potty now.
Yeah.
You guys got high, and then what happened?
Trying to stay strong.
You
get on my nerves.
Okay. Okay.
It
And
was gone, and he was.
did you think he had more and he was holding out on you?
No, I knew he didn't, but I got mad at him for not saving me more since he told me that he would.
I'm not sure.
But I never ever went over there with any intention of hurting him at all. I never thought about it before.
Well, I believe you.
It just was like a desperation thing. I was high and I was like not thinking. That was the only way that I wouldn't get in trouble for sneaking out of my house and going to Tom's. Was if I took care of the problem.
Was Tom threatening to tell Jason about you guys or anything? Or
Yeah, he was threatening to tell Jason about us, and he was threatening to tell people that I stole money.
Tommy is her boyfriend. She was cheating on her husband with Tommy, who had the drugs. And then if he would have found out that she left the house to relapse again on drugs and also cheating with this guy named Tommy, that's why she did what she did. That's exactly why she did what she did. So Tommy is the boyfriend. Miss Jalen said, Joanne, that's why I came to save you all. William said, don't matter, MJ. Thank you, William, but I'm trying my best. I gotta try my best. Woosa, right? Oh yeah, it's the boyfriend. Ricky said, "You done effed up cleaning up the scene, sweetheart." What a quote. My parents said, "Don't speak, but I can't afford an attorney, so I'm going to start talking to you, detective. Can't make this." Yeah. You know, here's the funny thing. I think she also, like I said, she's a master manipulator. We see how much she's trying to manipulate the situation, right? I think that she said that because she wanted to do it as a technicality. We just went over a live stream. If it wasn't today, it was yesterday. It was a technicality with one of the cases, right? For some particular reason, they didn't necessarily read the person their Miranda rights, or the courts found that the person was being was being put in a coerced type of situation where they didn't know how serious this that particular case was for them, right? And then on top of that, what else? What it was? The lawyer situation. So they were pretty much saying that that person never was given the chance to actually get legal counsel. When the person made a statement saying that I think I might need to seek legal counsel, or do I need to seek legal counsel? Those are two different things. So the technicality of the case that we saw yesterday, a particular suspect said, do I need a lawyer? That's not requesting a lawyer. If the person actually requests a lawyer, then the interview or the interrogation stops going forward. But because how the woman phrased it, do you think I need a lawyer? It's implementing that she might not want to say anything. She might not want to continue on with the interrogation unless she thinks it's better for her. But her lawyer that she got was good, and they was able to get that thrown out on a technicality. So that's what this is, what she's trying to do. I think it's very strategic for her to say, oh, well, my mom and dad told me that I shouldn't speak to no one or unless they're here, present, or get a lawyer. Throwing that out there now, I find it very strategic. But we'll see if that's going to fly. I don't think it is, though. Miss Jalen said, not her cheating and messing with the pastor. Yep. Chris said, how you doing, Chris? He said, what kind of drugs you... Oh, I don't do no drugs. Sorry. Security! Security! Anyway. Bruce said, forgive me if I don't talk much. I'm a chat security. Yes, chat security, you are. You're doing a great job, Brucey. You're doing a great job. Not Miss Jalen say, security. Yes, security. Said security. Ricky said, makes sense, because they can't give advice if you're asking them. Right. Let's go on.
From him, but I didn't. And he was starting to tell somebody that I stole his pills, but I didn't even know where they were, and I didn't take them.
Where did the knife come from? And where did you get it from?
I was just laying in there on the stove. I don't know, I saw it.
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
What kind of knife was it?
It's just a big butcher knife. Like, had a wooden handle.
How long was it?
About that long.
Okay.
Had a wooden handle. I actually have the same exact set of knives at my house.
Okay.
They're like a Chicago cutlery, but me and Tom have the same exact set of knives.
Okay. So were you guys in the kitchen when you stabbed him first?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he standing up?
He was standing there at the freezer getting ready to get something out, and I just jumped him. I just jumped on his back.
Which came first?
The throat.
The throat. So that was the first one?
That was the only thing I was gonna do, and then he just kept coming at me like he wanted to hurt me more than I was hurting him. Like he was gonna kill me. And so I just was like going like this to get away from me, and he stopped and he grabbed my arms and he threw me on his bed.
See, it's so funny because everything literally plays out the way that is going to play out and this is why I like reviewing these cases with you guys, because I'm telling you, ain't nothing new under the sun. Okay. This is what these detectives know. They've been doing this for 20 plus 24 years. There's nothing new under the sun. They have gotten the psychology of people, and when they're put in bad circumstances or they have to deal with their consequences, they always follow suit the same way. First is, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's the denial. Now it's putting on the waterworks. I'm the victim. Now it's self-defense. You admitted earlier that you jumped on his back and you stabbed him until he stopped. I guess fell down and he stopped moving. You also admitted that you did it because you was afraid that he was going to ruin your life. So you just wanted it to go away. You wanted to make it go away. You also alluded that you had, you was under drugs. You was able to get a little bit amount of drugs in your system. So you wanted to put that in there because you want to say that you wouldn't have done what you did if you wasn't under the influence. Master manipulator. But nothing is new under the sun. I knew eventually she was going to throw in the self-defense claim and that she was being attacked or he was being aggressive and she had to fear for her life and she had no choice. I knew it was coming. Bruce said he was standing there getting food out the freezer, so I jumped him. Right, exactly. Exactly, Ms. Jaylen. He did get axed. She was worried about sitting in jail for 4 years. Try 40. Right, Sean? She's crazy. Yes, she is. People are who they are, and she is a crafty one. Yes, she is definitely a crafty person.
And then he went in the bathroom to look at his neck. And when he did that, I ran in the kitchen and grabbed a knife again because he was coming back after me because he was pissed off that I throat. And I just kept doing it until
he was gone.
Well, no, not totally.
No, I'm not sweaty.
A couple more times and he came more, I guess. And he that's when the second time was when I started being like, I hate you. And he was standing there against the wall. And then he's like, I think you're killing me. I think I'm dying. And he just fell over.
Okay. And so then what did you do once he was down there? What did you do?
I just kind of sat there for a second and looked at him, thought.
Yeah,
I didn't know what to do, so I grabbed the knife. Grabbed his wallet and...
Were there drugs in there, or why'd you take his wallet? Was it drugs or money, or what?
Well, there's money.
Okay, so you took it for the money.
Kinda.
Took it for the money?
That's not why I did it, but afterwards I thought that...
How much did he have in there?
Not that much. He had a check and a couple $100.
Okay.
But I thought that that's not why I did it.
Okay.
Yeah, Brucey got the corner boy avatar on. He official corner boy.
No, the wallet. I mean, you said you took the... Maybe I misunderstood.
Because I took it because I thought that it would... I wanted the money, I guess, so I could get more drugs.
Wanted the money, get more drugs. Okay.
But that's not why I did it. It just occurred to me afterwards.
Okay.
I know that's going to get me more time.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I don't know that. But so you took the wallet and the knife, and then you said you went out the window?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just jumped out and did a barrel roll and landed on the tires on my back and just ran off, got my car.
So you get home, walk me through step by step. What happened when you got home?
I walked up to him and I told him I did something really bad, and he didn't believe me at first. But then I showed him the knife and the wallet, and he said, I don't know what to do. I guess take off all your clothes. Yeah. And he took the wallet and the knife and all my clothes, and he burned my clothes and the wallet and everything.
Yeah. Where did he burn it at?
In a trash can, a metal can.
Right there at your house?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the knife? What happened with the knife?
I don't know what he did with it. He left. He went over to his work.
Okay.
I think, but I don't know what he did with it.
Oh, Brucey got it.
Before wrapping up the interrogation, the detective wants to know, after nearly a decade, why did Carla finally decide to tell her pastor what she had done?
Why do you think after all these years, I mean, you went to your pastor, what, in July is what he said, the week of July 4th.
Right.
What do you think led you up to the point to where you...
Guys, I want y'all to think about it. She got away with this for 10 years. She did this crime and she got away with it for 10 years. Told her pastor, he helped covered her up, covered it up, didn't say anything about it. And now also she stole from the man too. She took his wallet, money, all that, because all this went down is that she's a junkie. She was a junkie who fell in love with her pastor, and in the spirit of obsession, she wanted her pastor to find her, romantically, attractive and be with her. He didn't. That drew the line for him when she threatened to ruin his reputation, and this is the only reason why we're hearing about this story today. Is because when his life was on the line, that's when he gave the information. Outside of that, we would have never known. She would have still been living her best life because she had already had 10 years of living her best life with no one knowing anything about it. That is really, 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 really sad. Really sad. Oh, you ordered it. Oh, thank you so much, Brucey. I hope you love your cup when you get it. William said, taking wallet from her next fix of drugs. Parents guilty of destroying evidence. Yep. She waited a decade. Yes. Sean says, so the pastor didn't have anything to do with it. Apparently not. He didn't have anything to do with it, but manipulating the girl and not coming with that information to the police. Trying to show MJ, Master Detective, I'm a ride or die. You a ride or die, Brucey. I know you as a ride or die. You don't have to show me. I know it. You show it every day you come to a live stream, sir. And just being you. Reading book says she can't sleep. Oh. Let's see. Brucey said, no, he just helped her cover up the murder. Right. He just helped her cover up the murder. All right. We're almost done with this. Let's finish this one out.
Decided it's time to tell somebody.
I had been asking Jason about every 3-4 months if he would let me please just tell the truth about it, and he just kept saying no.
Ever since it happened,
Yeah.
I mean, back, so every 3 or 4 months, ever since it happened, you've been saying, let me tell the truth.
Right.
Well, that shows a lot about your character. Well, no, it does. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Now, here's the difference, though. Somebody doing a murder and saying, you prove it, I'm not going to tell you anything, and somebody saying, I made a terrible mistake, and I've been trying to make it.
My life is over anyway. It doesn't matter.
What matters, I think, is between you and God.
Right. That's why I told Jerry, because between me and God, if I don't tell the truth,
you're right.
Before I die, I'm going to be a liar when I get to heaven, and I don't want to be. I want to be honest. I wanted to tell.
I'm sorry, what? Excuse my language. Bitch, what? Who told you going to heaven? Who told you going to heaven? Why do you think you still get to go to heaven? What? You can't even say that you're going to hell? You said you're going to heaven? Oh my God.
Tell the truth because I did something wrong.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter to me what happens to me. I just don't want my children to get hurt. for something that I did when I was just being and high.
Oh, okay, read it.
I'm actually pretty relieved that
He
that
ain't
I
going
don't
there either.
have to hold that secret anymore. Okay. I'm fine. I knew eventually I was going to be institutionalized, and I'm just glad
Yeah,
it's
he
not
knew her
anything
secret
right
for
now.
a decade, and he only told.
In the end, Clara
because she
was
wanted
sentenced to
to act
15 years in prison. Her first eligible parole would have been in January of 2024. Her husband, Jason, was initially charged with felony tampering with evidence, but the charge was ultimately dropped, as the statute of limitation had run out.
Thank you, Pastor Jerry.
kill the bird.
You finally helped me. You should have done that last year. I was ready.
What are your thoughts on this case? Do you believe 15 years was enough for Clara? Should the pastor have been obligated to go to the police? Please share your thoughts in the comments below.
Okay, that one pissed me off. It pissed me off, ladies and gents. I'm sorry. It pissed me off. Number one, what the hell? You only gave her 15 years? Why would you give her so little amount of a time for that? Did they take into consideration that she was under the influence, that she needed drugs? Obviously, she needed the money for drugs. Did they take that into consideration? But why give her 15 years? She should have got way more time than that. And yes, I totally believe that the pastor, if he didn't break any laws, because the law is that whatever is said within, confident, it doesn't have to be told unless it's child abuse. And apparently I just learned that that rule has changed now. Now, nobody has to even express things that might happen with church members or anything like that. Even if it's a child, they don't have to disclose any information to the police. They can keep it to themselves. He should have been held accountable for being her accomplice. He helped cover up a murder. He knew about it. He knew about it. She told him last year, 4th of July, and you went along with it. You helped her get a lawyer, covered it up, everything. She did this 10 years ago, and once you knew about it, you were supposed to say something about it. She told you in detail, and you didn't do anything about it. Not until she decided that she wanted to destroy your family because she couldn't get you the way how she wanted to. That's now when, oh, okay, this needs to stop now. I'm kind of upset with the whole situation. I don't know what town that is, but make sure I don't ever go to that town. If they're operating in that way, I don't want to visit. I don't want to visit at all. Absolutely not. I don't want to visit. Nope. Because everybody dropped the ball. No, absolutely not. Girl thinks she's going to heaven. No freaking way. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, he was doing the nasty with her. Yep. Sean said 15 years and that's it. Yep, apparently so. Why is she so lose hope? She don't think that she's an attraction. The pastor got nothing. Nope, he didn't get anything. He went on about his business and his reputation was saved too because, not now, probably with this video, but his reputation was saved. Really. Men don't cold nothing. Reading said 15 years. Yeah, 15 years, only 15 years. That hit me hard too, MJ. 15. Yeah, that just bugged me out. I don't like that. That's Bruce. This is where we need to be on the pan. Like, this is just crazy. William, stop with the children angle. Should have thought of them when killing your husband, and your pastor should have gone to the police, or his lawyer should have. Right, absolutely. Especially the lawyer, right? Isn't the lawyer supposed to be under law to disclose that type of information? If you take her as a client, a panel will be good for crime topics. Yeah. Flower said, I agree, MJ. He should have told them she killed him. Yeah. It was in Indiana. Yeah, you're right. It's Indiana. Yeah, I'm not going to Indiana. I'm sorry. All my fans and subscribers from Indiana, I love y'all, but I ain't going over there. I'm sorry. Meet me in the middle somewhere, okay? Meet me in the middle. All right, guys. So I have one more case for you. That one was very interesting. Make sure you're hitting the like button for me again. It helps the channel. I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible because I got to make my appointment, and it's about not that far of a drive. It's maybe like a 25-minute drive, but I want to make it in time, you know. So we're gonna get this going. So the last case that I have for you good folks today is a killer husband can't keep his story straight. So we're going to look at someone who is another master manipulator who think they can outsmart the detective. You're going to start to see the war of wits, right? And I love seeing the war of wits where they battle who can play the most mind game, who's going to win within the interrogation. I love seeing that because you can see it play out bit by bit, and you'll start to understand more where the detective's head is at and how they're approaching this potential suspect and what the suspect is trying to do in the interrogation process. So let me go ahead and pull up my screen and we can get it going.
You're a master manipulator. You are another word that begins with the M. What? Murderer.
This is Robert Miller, an established criminal in Tom Green County, Texas, with a total of 17 arrests under his belt. As you just saw, he is being accused of murder. But perhaps what is even more intriguing is the detective's statement right before that.
You are a master manipulator.
Without a doubt, many criminals in the true crime dossier are master manipulators. In recent years, this term has become a common buzzword used to attract viewers. But it's not every day that you hear a detective call the suspect a master manipulator directly to their face. In order to decide whether Robert is worthy of this title or not, vital context must be given, including the series of events that led up to this moment. On May 13, 2015, the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office in San Angelo, Texas, received a call from a woman named Toni Epperson regarding a missing person. She was invited to the station for an interview. During this interview, Toni told the detectives that her stepson, Robert Miller, has a wife named Naomi Michelle Miller, who suddenly vanished in December of 2005, and she hasn't been heard from since.
So you didn't know her as Naomi Michelle Miller, you know her just as Michelle?
Yes, sir.
What did Robbie tell y'all about Michelle?
First, they told us that she ran off with the cop, that she just left in the middle of the night and didn't take anything.
Toni reported Michelle missing to the police following her disappearance, but for some reason, neither a search nor an investigation was launched. Toni had a hard time believing that she would run off, as it meant that she was abandoning what was most important to her, her kids.
Robbie and those two kids were her life. And I think that's why I never dropped it. Because I knew she'd never leave those kids. But like I said, I've told my friends ever since then that she didn't just disappear.
Toni's theory was that Robert had actually killed her.
Sorry I waited so long to do something.
So this is one of the reasons why the detectives, outside of making sure that nobody in the family is a suspect to the crime, they have to have witness of character of the victim, right? Because you'll start to understand a little bit about the victim that you can't get now because they can't speak for themselves, right? So she knew that there was probably issues in this particular type of marriage. She also knew that the wife loved her children. She would never abandon her children. She is not the mom that's just going to pick up and go without her kids. So if she's missing for days and nobody know her whereabouts, and the husband are saying, oh, she was cheating and she ran off with a cop, they knew that something was fishy. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like her. We know her inside and out. And that's why they ask them these questions, right? They have to find a way to understand, what is this woman's daily routine? Who is this, or not even just a woman, but just the victim, right? Who is this person? You know, put a character to the victim. You know, it's not just another body. This is a soul that was only going to be on this earth one time. Is never going to be another person like that individual. Even their offsprings are not is not like, you know, twins, like identical twins to them. There is only one person. So they want to make sure you put a name, you put a face, you put a spirit, you put a soul, you put a character to any victim. Any victim. All right, let's see. Brucey said, thank you for working so hard for us, MJ. Oh, thank you, Brucey. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I have the John Grissom book. Oh, you do? Awesome. Awesome. Oh, awesome. And she crochets too? Oh, reading, you didn't let me know you crochet. Let's see. The Girl in the Castle by James Patterson. That was a good one. That was a real good one. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. Let's go on.
But you know, it's kind of go hard to go tell something so somebody you don't really prove.
Oh. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. It's trying to do the buffering again. I don't know why. We was doing so well. We were doing so well. Come on. Give me a second. Come on. We were doing so well. Let me refresh.
Just disappear.
Tony's theory was that Robert had actually killed her.
Sorry I waited so long to do something. But you know, it's kind of go hard to go tell somebody you think somebody killed somebody and you don't really have any proof.
The reason that Tony was contacting the police again after all these
Is it still buffering on your
was that her
side?
stepson, Robert's brother Daniel, had just recently passed away. But right before he died, he had something important to tell her.
And you remember that Daniel told you what?
I told him that he had killed Michelle. Right after they moved in that house last road. And that she was buried on the last road, and Robbie got how easy it would be to hide the body because nobody would look.
The sheriff's office was very familiar with Robert. He had arrested a total of 17 times, so it wasn't far-fetched he might be involved in something like this. Despite having no concrete evidence of foul play, they took Tony's concerns seriously. After 10 years, an investigation into the disappearance of Michelle was finally in motion. Investigators began by searching their databases for any record of Michelle. They discovered that she had been pulled over for a routine traffic stop and was issued a ticket on June 11th, 2005. Soon after,
So let me stop there because it's going in and out. So my thing is, what is with these people and their arrogance that they can't keep their mouth closed? Like sometimes that's why I believe that some of these people are not just like very dangerous sociopaths, right? I believe that they dibble dabble in, you know, being a psychopath, because if you want to get away with something, right? And if you believe that it's so easy to get away with it, then why are you running your mouth and telling people about it? And most of the time you're running your mouth and you're telling someone about it is because you need an ego pat, right? You need an ego pat on your back, right? Oh, look at me. Look what I can get away with. Yeah, I was able to do this. I was able to A, B, C, D, E, F, G and get away with this. And you're not caring about the consequences, right? Because you feel that even if someone do actually question, you've been manipulating people for so long that that's just another another notch on your belt. Oh, this is gullible number 285, right? It's just, I just find it so weird when you commit a crime, you hide it, But yet you go and you tell someone that you commit a crime. But then what was the point of hiding it? If you just felt that it was within your right to commit a crime, why don't you just stand 10 toes down on it then, right? Sit there in it. Why don't you call the 911? Say, yeah, I unalived this person. I unalived this chick. I unalived this dude because I felt like it. And I was in my right. Why not do that? I don't understand this whole, I want to hide and I want to, get rid of evidence and all this stuff like that. But then, I'm going to run my mouth and I'm going to tell somebody. It's just the weirdest thing to me. It's the weirdest thing. I know, buffering and very staticky. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I thought we was going to have the luck. Hopefully we get the luck now. I really do. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to start downloading it now. I'm just gonna have to use my my hard drive, my extra hard drive, and start downloading it. But let's see if it starts to play now.
After that, all activity from Michelle halted. There were no tax documents, no medical records, no government programs, or bank transactions. Nothing. They also reached out to Michelle's family and learned that she and Robert had an unusual marriage. It turns out that they were swingers and had developed a relationship with one person in particular who played a pivotal role in their lives. Her name was LaDonna Yoder. This relationship became so serious that they all wore wedding bands and told people that they were a happily married throuple. In 2004, LaDonna and her 2 children were invited to live with Robert and Michelle. Not long after LaDonna moved in, Michelle suddenly went missing. Robert and LaDonna carried on as if nothing happened, and LaDonna became the mother figure for Michelle's children, even forcing them to call her mom. After learning this information, the detectives wondered if something sinister had happened to Michelle. And without any eyewitnesses, they also wondered if it happened inside their home. The property that the throuple shared was sold in 2007, 2 years after Michelle went missing. Thankfully, the new owners granted the detectives permission to conduct a search. They began
So that's somewhat of a new information. So apparently he had a prior relationship from before dealing with the wife that is missing now, right? And that wife went missing. So it seemed like he has, or potentially could have, a pattern that, he's like the what do you call it? He's like the black widower, right? That's what it's starting to look like. It's starting to seem like he's the black widower. Like after a while, if they find out certain things about him or they want to leave or something like that, he gets rid of them. That's what it's starting to sound like. I hope that's not the case, but I wouldn't, I don't put it past him, really. I really don't put it past him. All right. Hopefully that helped a little bit.
by documenting the layout of the house and taking photos of each room.
Everything's original?
This is the only one that's done remodeled.
Nope, spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. Come on. Why are you doing that? You have more than enough.
As they moved throughout the home, the detectives noticed a subtle foul odor. According to the current homeowners, it was a lot stronger when they moved in back in 2007.
It smelled really bad. Really, really bad. And then one of the neighbors actually close, he was like, well, in these houses, cats will get under there and die and stuff like that. And so we just kind of thought maybe it was just a bad animal. Because every time you go in there, it's just stunk.
They had never inspected the foundation of the home themselves, but there was a random hole in the kitchen floor where you could access this area.
My husband is an engineer, and he was like, there's no reason for that hole to be like that.
The detectives decided to bring a dog named Orion that could detect human remains. He immediately gave an alert when inspecting this hole in the kitchen floor, as well as another hole on the exterior of the house leading to the same area. They began digging a hole and collected the soil as they went.
Okay, we got bucket one. Here we go.
The longer they dug, the stronger the foul odor became.
I mean, there's odors down here.
The detectives were certain it was only a matter of time before they found a body.
Well, it has got to be a grave, dude.
So this dude is really wicked. He sold the house knowing that he dug a hole and put the body there under the house. That's so wicked. That is so crazy. That's so wicked. Like, just I don't even want people to imagine, but just try to put yourself in these homeowners' shoes. You think you're getting a good deal on a house, right? You're getting your money's worth, and then you have this constant stench. And at first, because depending on where you at, it could be a lot of live animals that can go under the porch and things of that sort and probably die there, possums, things, you name it. So you're just thinking that it's just animals. But to come to find out that you have somebody remains that used to reside in that house and you bought it. Like, I can't imagine that. I kind of can't imagine that, wanting to stay in a home that was originally a crime scene and you didn't know that. That's like the haunted house in Connecticut, out here in Connecticut. I don't even think nobody live in that house. And anybody who bought that house within 1 year, they always did, because they said they was experiencing paranormal activities in that house. That's why they made a movie about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
After removing 70 gallons of soil, they hit a hard layer of clay, ending their dig. After all that, no body was found. Additionally, the soil samples were sent to a crime lab and no blood or DNA was detected. However, they did find carpet fibers that were mixed into the soil. The theory at this point was that the body had originally been buried there, but was later moved. And it had been so long that any blood or DNA in the soil was no longer viable for testing. However, there was no way to prove this theory, and no probable cause to arrest Robert. So the investigation stagnated for 2 more years. Then, on March 1st, 2017, a warrant for Robert's arrest was issued for an unrelated misdemeanor, a Class B theft from 2015. The detectives saw this as an opportunity to reignite the investigation into Michelle's disappearance. So they headed on their way to Robert and LaDonna's new McCulloch County residence in Brady, Texas. When they arrived, they knocked on the door, and Robert answered.
Hey, Robert, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, pretty good, sir.
Blue 5 Ash, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. It's been a while. Well, the reason why we're here today is we got a warrant for your arrest. Yeah. Just a deal. We'll talk here in just a minute about it, all right?
Call my wife inside and let her come out here.
I'll come talk.
They quickly escorted Robert to the back of a police cruiser before he got the chance to talk to LaDonna. As he was being transported to the police station, they knocked on the door again and waited for LaDonna to answer.
We don't want her to know why he's really going to jail. Hello, I'm Sergeant 5 Ash, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Let me.
Well, we got Robert under arrest. Are you able to come up to the Sheriff's Office and come meet with us?
Yeah.
LaDonna was brought to the station in a separate vehicle and sat down with the detective for an interview.
All right. What year were y'all married?
Oh, 7.
And when y'all got together, was he still married at the time?
Yeah. They were in the process of separating.
Who's they?
Michelle.
Where is she at these days?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
So just one day she up and leaves?
According to LaDonna, on December 3rd, 2005, she and Robert got into a heated argument with Michelle.
I wound up staying in the living room because it had gotten pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I'd fallen asleep, and when I woke up, she was gone.
So you never see her again?
Rule of thumb. Don't date no one until they're officially separated or officially divorced. I know it's tempting to still deal with someone and they say that they're separated, but just wait, make that whole separation period when they're about to separate from their significant other, make that the whole courting period, right? You're not getting too attached. You're really getting to know this person inside and out. And then when they're officially, done with the marriage, then actually officially date them and get married and stuff like that. because look how she's being brung into this, right? They had an argument in I guess December 05. All of a sudden his ex-wife goes missing, and they supposedly was supposed to get be separated, right? So if she never made it down to the court office, how are they still not married right now? But you said that you and him got married in 2007. You see what I'm saying? So now it makes it look like you knew he got rid of her in that way. So please use the separation period as a courting period, however long it takes, 3 months, 6 months, just really use it to do all the vetting on both sides. And then when that person is officially done, then you can say, yeah, we're officially together and move in whatever direction you want. Because now me just, being a viewer, I'm looking at it like, not only did you help him? Did you help him move the body? You knew enough that you was okay with marrying him in 07 or 06. Let's go on.
Move her stuff out. She doesn't contact the kids. It's just, and she's gone.
I was told that he had gotten a phone call or two from her, and that she said that she was tired of his BS and that she wanted to be treated like a queen, and she was going back home. And from what I understand, her family was in Wisconsin.
She told the detectives that she believed what Robert had told her and didn't ask any questions. The detectives weren't buying it. If anyone were to know what Robert did with Michelle, it would be LaDonna, so they stopped beating around the bush.
I'll tell you this, Robert has made some comments about taking her life. And we as investigators believe Miss Miller is dead.
Oh, she knew. Okay.
I also believe you could be culpable if you're not straight up with us today.
Culpable wasn't part of it?
LaDonna was immediately flooded with emotions. She proceeded to desperately distance herself from the incident, but it didn't take much persuasion to elicit a confession.
What happened to her? We want.
I don't know how long was it. She left.
No.
That's like, I don't know. Oh my God.
He took her life. LaDonna, it's okay. You've been carrying this a long time.
Yes.
Okay.
They had gotten in a fire. It gets quiet.
That's crazy.
And he walked out of the house with something. He has a bed in a blanket.
Oh, that's good to know.
Detectives kicked it up a notch. They pulled out an iPhone and asked LaDonna to act out Robert's actions from that day.
Now she's going to be a victim.
To demonstrate to me how he was trained with the body.
Now she's a victim. That book. Ladies, we got to stop doing that, man. We got to stop doing that, ladies. If you know, you know. We got to stop doing that. Now you a victim. Now you a victim. Not before. Now you're a victim. Now when you know that you are going to be accomplice or looked at as an accomplice of her missing and all the stuff like that, now you're a victim. And I couldn't do anything. I was afraid that I was going to be next. But you stayed married to him, and you act like nothing ever happened. You didn't call and tell anybody, like, listen, this dude is nuts. I seen what he did to his ex-wife, and I'm scared to death because I'm in too deep. Come and get me. Where your family at? Where your friends at? Come on, lady. Like, no. William said a managed Tio and Michelle became a surplus to requirements, or she convinced him to get rid of Michelle. It had to be one or the other. I mean, if she married him right after that, you married him within what, 8 months? 8 months of her, y'all having that argument and her going missing? Man, listen. Reading said, yes, she said she didn't know, but told she knew her till complied. Yeah. It's just crazy. These stories, man, they get worse every single time I find them.
kind of like a little bit of bundle right here. It's just pulling like come around the deal and just like kind of come like this. And
Okay. And it was wrapped in what?
in a blanket. It's a colored blanket. I know that was a shock. I didn't know I missed the show.
So, did you bury her in the backyard?
There was fresh dirt there the next day, yes. So he would have had to do something.
But there was a grave in your backyard.
The detectives then showed LaDonna an aerial photo from their former residence on Glass Road and asked her to point exactly where Michelle was buried.
Fresh dirt would have been right here. Just, I think almost up against the house.
But that was all his right where you were talking. For decom.
It was there with the fresh dirt.
Yeah, they moved it.
So
all this time, have you ever asked Robert what he did to her? How he killed her?
No, because I didn't want to know. Because I didn't want to think about it every time I go to bed. I don't know.
I'm sorry, her goofy ass is getting on my nerve. Don't do all this freaking crying and hacking hysterical. And now all of a sudden, every single time I sit on my bed, I cry and I'm hysterical about what I saw. And no, you didn't give a damn, lady. You got what you wanted. You got him. You didn't care. You didn't care that that woman lost her life. You didn't care what that woman went through. You believed everything that raggedy ass dude told you about why his wife is so horrible and why he can't be with her anymore, and probably why she needs to be gone because it's going to be an issue. You agreed with everything because it was all about what you wanted. And now you're sitting up here and you putting all these waterworks, acting hysterical, putting on a whole show to make it seem like you have some type of heart. The only heart that you have, ma'am, is about yourself. Is about yourself. That's it. That's all you care about. You don't care about nobody. You don't even care about that woman's kids that you forced to call you mom after she supposedly went missing. Ooh. Child. That's terrible, man. Brucey said, had a good woman at home and blowed it on a dusty. A whole dusty mammy. They got her to talk. Yeah, she was squealing. I know she was going to squeal. Because she weak and she's in self-preservation mode. So now it's all about her safety. Look how I love this man and I'm ready to do that ride and die and all that stuff like that. Look how you when it came down to dying, you ain't ready to die now. You ain't ready to die now.
All of this and never contacted the police makes her an accomplice at the very least. But the detectives didn't want to accuse her of anything just yet, as she could become defensive and stop cooperating with them. They did, however, leave her with one final warning.
We've asked you to be 100% open and honest today. I hope you're happy. If we call you and all of a sudden you don't want to talk to us, to me, you've moved from being a witness, now you're going to be a target.
I understand.
Okay.
All in all, LaDonna's interrogation was a huge success. They extracted all of the information that they could, and would now use that information to confront Robert. After talking about his theft charge for a bit to build rapport, they then jumped into the same line of questioning as LaDonna's interview, asking about their relationship before asking questions about Michelle.
You and LaDonna been together how long?
I think it's about 12 years, 13 years now, something like that.
All right. Was you married before then?
Mm-hmm.
That was a no and a yes.
Yeah.
Robert became visibly uncomfortable when the detectives started.
So we know on this channel, he's automatically in defense mode. He's not trying to say anything. He's telling us with the crossing of his arms that he is not talking, he is not going to be forthcoming, but he is probably concerned whether or not if they talked to his wife. And of course, the new woman that he got, he know what he needed to do to manipulate her and for her to agree with everything that he did. So he understands her psyche. So now he's thinking, there's a possibility that this woman did rat on me because she's weak in the mind like that. Too much heat in the kitchen, she running. So now he's going to position himself in this interrogation as not saying anything, being very egotistical, and pretty much he probably will challenge the detective to see how much evidence they do have, to see if they even do have a case. Because a person like this and the way how he operated, he will want to know how much the detectives know, because that's going to let him know whether or not if he needs to stop this right then and there and get a lawyer, or they don't have anything, so I don't have to worry about nothing if I don't say anything. But we'll see. We're going to see a little bit more while we go on.
Asking him about Michelle. His body language goes from open to closed off as he crosses his arms and struggles to respond. This is a common response when a guilty person feels exposed during an interrogation. The detective notices this change in demeanor and cracks a relatable joke to ease the tension.
Hey, I have, a lot of us have a first wife we're not real excited about.
And just like that, Robert's behavior instantly changes again. As soon as the detectives begin to laugh, you can see Robert realize he is too tense. He takes a deep breath, stretches his neck, and smiles back. For the rest of this interrogation, you can see Robert fighting this constant inner battle of feeling threatened while trying to play it cool.
15 years. 15 years. What was her name?
Michelle.
Did y'all get divorced, or what happened with that deal?
Yeah, kind of sort of. We still haven't actually got divorced, but she left December 22nd, I think, of 04. I think it was the happiest day of my life.
Oh, really, Robert? This is just one of the bizarre statements that Robert makes throughout interrogation.
What the hell was Michelle? What's going on with her?
Right. Well, Michelle went missing in probably 05.
Went missing?
You never reported her missing.
Because she wasn't.
Right.
Because, no.
Here's the deal. We rented a dog at the house. Yes, sir.
A cadaver dog?
To find bodies.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We found not a body, but we found evidence of a body.
Where?
Under the house.
She's under the house?
You know she's not under the house.
No, sir. I know. I mean, I know for a fact I didn't put nobody under the house.
Okay.
I swear to God.
All right. We know. We've already LaDonna, and LaDonna has already confessed to the entire incident, including wrapping her up and burying her.
Okay.
And so we're here today to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay. You're saying okay?
Well, you tell me. LaDonna's already told you that.
Is LaDonna lying about this?
And here is the battle of the wits. Like I said, it was going to play out. Now he's like, okay, yeah, you watch him say something about his current wife. You believe Donna? You don't think that she could lie? I don't know what you're talking about. Trying to act like he's cool, but he's not cool. He's not cool at all. So this is going to get interesting, seeing them try to see who's going to top the conversation.
Something she is.
Is she involved? Did she kill her?
I don't know, but she's lying about something there. I did not kill her. I'd never freaking hurt that woman. And she's still haunting my ass.
So what do you mean by she's still haunting? So you agreed that yeah, she's dead?
No, she's I never hurt that freaking woman. You say, oh, no. 15 years ago, that made my hell. Never hurt Michelle, never wanted to.
With Robert not recalling it, the detectives bring Donna into the room to remind him herself.
Hey, what do you say? I carried a body out, baby. What are you talking
carried
about?
something out in a blanket.
I never carried her outside, baby.
You carried something out through the kitchen, into the laundry room, out the back door.
Baby, the back door.
The one blanket that she always used on the bed, Robbie.
LaDonna, think about it very carefully.
I am thinking about it. I see that every time. I see that every time.
Really? Baby, I've never even been underneath that house, honey.
Did you ever see Michelle?
Calm down, baby.
No.
LaDonna, calm down.
All right.
Please, honey.
I'm gonna have her step outside for a minute.
Well, can you please calm down? I don't want to talk to me again.
They had hoped that Robert would be caught off guard and
So, that exchange, I understand why the detective did that, right? Because they thought that he would break, and once she said it to him face to face, but that's because the detective doesn't understand her relationship dynamics with this man. He's trying to act as he is such a gracious husband. Look at the words that he's using when he was speaking to her while she's hysterical. No, honey, what are you talking about, honey? Why would you say I said that, honey? She knows his code. She knows when he's saying all those, sentiment things, honey and baby and no and all, she knows that that's code that he's saying, bitch, if I get out of this, I'm going to do what I did to Michelle to you. She knows that. The detectives don't know that. The detectives don't know that. This is why I said someone who did what he did is not a extreme sociopath. This person is a psychopath. And there's probably many times that she's seen other things about this man that probably scared her. That doesn't absolve her of any of her dealings with this. She's still an ain't shit person. But there is a level of control and fear that woman has. And he's playing the show right now. He's playing a show. So let's hear a little bit more. Pay attention. I'm telling you, listen to what he says.
either slip up or realize confessing might be the best way to save his skin. Instead, he immediately played the role of the concerned husband, gently calling her things like baby and honey to calm her down while shutting down her claims.
Honey, why would you say I carried a body out, baby? Maybe the back door. Honey, please, honey.
The detectives only saw this as a manipulation tactic. They were afraid that this might influence her to change her story, so they immediately removed her from the room.
That doesn't even add up.
It adds up to me.
Well,
it adds up to this dude who's been a policeman since 1989. You know what it adds up to?
What?
It adds up to your ass supposed to get arrested for murder.
Well, I guess what it is then, because I didn't do it.
I believe you did.
You not,
you
sir?
are a master manipulator.
Do you not think
you
that?
have manipulated her for years.
Oh, I have not.
And not only you're a master manipulator, you are another word that begins with a M.
What?
Murderer.
Despite the detective's clever alliteration, Robert continued to deny that Michelle had even died, let alone that he had murdered her. They even showed him a picture of himself with Michelle, hoping to trigger even an ounce of remorse.
So if you can say something to her, what would you tell her? Shit, that I still love her? I love the shit out of that woman. I love her to death, man. I did.
This guy is so wicked. He is beyond wicked. Before this whole interrogation process started, you said that was the best day of your life, that when she was gone. Now all of a sudden, I still love her. I love that woman. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And quite frankly, the detectives, you could look at them, they could see how wicked this guy is. They could see how wicked he is. Because now all of a sudden you want to be concerned about your ex-wife, but you told them in the beginning the best thing that you that ever happened is her disappearing. You said that with your whole chest. But now when your current wife comes in and she spilled the beans, now it's not. I love that woman, man. You love that woman, but you never went to go look for her. You love that woman. You never divorced her because she went missing, but you married another woman. Like, come on now. Come on. Diabolical, this guy is.
I loved her forever. Yeah, good one.
Does that dress kind of look like that comforter she was wrapped up in?
It kind of does, huh? Yeah. It is kind of like that, but like the white there is more of a peach color of that comforter.
You wrapped her up in a comforter that looked a lot like that?
It is a comforter. The one that we had?
Yeah. And that's the one you wrapped her up in?
No.
That's the one that
I can damn near swear that comforter, we still had that thing for years. We threw it away from her.
2 times I said that the dress was like the comforter you wrapped her up in, and you agreed.
I know what you're saying. I know what comforter you mean.
This second Robert has had a Freudian slip and played off as his words being misconstrued.
She is dead. The last person with her alive was you. The last place she was alive was at your house with you. We have a witness that put you there. We have a witness that put you dragging her body out of the home. Jury is not going to buy this bull. The jury is to believe the facts.
I'm telling you, I don't kill her. Period.
At this point, speaking with Robert was wasting everybody's time, so the detectives wrapped up the interview. Robert was charged with murder and transported to the Green County. However, the investigation was far from over.
Yeah, I think it was the best bet for the detectives to go ahead and wrap it up because, like I said, he wasn't going to say anything. Yeah, I already called him out as a master manipulator. You knew that you took a risk by putting the current wife in there to pretty much see whether or not if she was going to change her testimony. That didn't happen. And you also kind of put her in danger too, because if, let's say, for example, he didn't do it, right? Or he had someone else to do it. You know, there's a potential of him trying to harm her because of that, right? But it was no point of continuing having the conversation with him. He wasn't going to bite because, like, again, he was trying to find out how much information that they had. And for him, all the detectives have is hearsay. They don't have no concrete evidence. They only found something similar to a carpet that probably had her remains in there and had been down there for a while. So unless they get back any DNA that was her, everything else that they presented to him was nothing but hearsay. Somebody said this, a witness of this, your own wife said that she saw you drag something out of the kitchen. And that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. He wanted to know if they had any cold, hard evidence with his DNA, the murder weapon, anything of that sort. And he found out that they didn't. And that's why he continued on to deny. Let's go on.
Primarily, the detectives still wanted to find Michelle's body. They wondered if LaDonna, scared of Robert, had withheld any details in her first interview. Now that he was behind bars, they asked her to come in for another interview.
We need to go back and solidify some of the details of the events that occurred that night. Did he ever insinuate that he'd done anything with her?
No.
I took care of the problem. I shut her up forever.
No.
I know there were conversations between you and Robert about this deal, where he's.
I know the first few days, when I'd ask him what happened to Michelle, where's she at, what's she at, and he would just blow it off, or he wouldn't say nothing. So I never even asked him more about Michelle.
LaDonna stuck to the same story she had in the last interview, so they tested the plausibility of this story by having her draw out the layout of the house and illustrate what she remembers from that night.
This is the living room, and like the blanket comes out like that.
Yes.
So you catch the end of the blanket.
There's got to have been some conversation. There's got to be in the next little piece of that puzzle.
I promise, I knew, but I never wanted to know for a fact.
But in 12 years, that doesn't come out.
He's never ever said, I promise, he's never ever said anything.
LaDonna seems much more composed during this interview, which could be a sign that she is telling the truth. However, she has also had an entire day to get her story straight and mentally prepare for any further questioning. The detectives decided to do the same thing that worked in the last interview, throw her into a setting that she's not prepared for, and challenge her lies directly. They decided to take LaDonna to where the crime had occurred, her former residence on Glass Road, hoping she would crack under pressure once again and lead them to the body. Upon arrival, they took LaDonna to the initial burial site and asked her where Robert had moved the body. Once again, she said that Robert never told her, at which point the detective gave her a piece of his mind.
What else is? I'm not trying to be an.
Yeah, she got her story straight.
I'm trying.
So they're right. She pretty much said the same thing that she said when she admitted that she didn't know that her husband was dragging out something, and she also said that she was asking him where she was or why we haven't heard from her, why she haven't called her children, and he would kind of like brush her off. So now they just taking her there because they need to know if she has any more information, which she probably do, because if you see something being let out, a big object or something being let out of your kitchen, right? And he's dragging it, and it seems very heavy and stuff. You telling me that there was no question about what is he dragging? Then you said that or you knew that he buried it. Ask him what he was burying. Like, you trying to say that there was no conversation that you was having throughout this whole thing. And of course the detective know that that's not true, especially if you've been holding this information for years. You've been holding this information for years, going on with your regular life as a married couple, knowing that his wife was missing, knowing that he did something to her. So they want to make sure that, they get her involvement, if any. If she is involved more than what she said she's involved in, as being a bystander that saw all that and didn't report or didn't call the cops or let anybody know that he did this. They want to know whether or not if she was actually assisting. Like, did she help with him murdering her? Did she help him drag the body down underneath the house? They want to know that. So if she has to get charged, she will be charged properly. Shoot, they want to know whether or not if she actually unalived the wife and was the husband the accomplice. So is a reason why details matter. Even the most littlest details matter in these type of situations, so they can give the correct charges to all the individuals that are involved. Bruce said now they will ask her the same question, but different phrasing, catch her in a lie. Yes, absolutely. Hi, Yvonne. He said, Evan, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. He said, this world is terrible. Yeah. Earth is ghetto, if you haven't realized it.
Trying to get this guy locked up because I don't want him coming after you.
I know.
So did he ever tell you that he buried her out here?
God, I can't do this no more. He did. He killed her. No, he killed her.
Did he tell you he killed her? LaDonna, look. Just because you
Yes, he did.
When did he tell you that he killed her?
3 days after.
Did he tell you how he did it?
He said that he got in a fight. Kept hounding him about why she wasn't coming back and what was going on.
Okay.
And then when he told me that, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, if I say something, if I leave, what is he going to do?
Has he ever told you where he moved her to? Exactly.
I know she's out at the racetrack.
The racetrack she is talking about is the 17-acre Santa Rosa Sports Arena, which was once owned and operated by Robert. Following this outing, the detectives obtained a warrant to search for Michelle's body on the track property. On March 11, 2017, several days of careful excavation began. During this time, detectives told Robert about LaDonna's detailed confession and the search at the racetrack. Robert immediately asked to speak to the detectives once again.
Pretty good, sir. I was trying to tell him guys, and he gave me immunity and I'll punch him in that direction.
I'll tell you right now, we don't negotiate for immunity per se, as much as we tell the district attorney your level of cooperation. if you want to cooperate with us and tell us what you know.
Although this sentiment does hold some merit, the detective is not being fully transparent. There is no guarantee that the information Robert provides right now will benefit him moving forward. In fact, speaking with the authorities without an attorney present backfires more often than not. The prosecutor may offer Robert a plea deal leading up to his trial in exchange for an admission of guilt.
Prime example why we preach, don't talk to these individuals. Go and get a lawyer. I don't care if you're innocent. I don't care if it was an accident. I don't care if you're guilty. No, I actually do care if you're guilty. I want you under the jail cell, if you know, my personal opinion. But don't speak to them. Go ahead and get a lawyer, because you're not, you're playing in a realm that's not something that you dibble dabble in every single day. And you might really think that all the manipulation that you're able to do to, regular mortals, regular civilians and whatever not, you think that you're going to play that with people who are trained, who've been working this job for decades, have over a plethora of experiences, right? From the most minor cases to the most high profile cases. You really expect that you're going to outwit them. You're not going to do it. Go get a lawyer. Seriously. Her eyes would show signs of petechial hemorrhage if she was strangled. Right. You are not as smart as the popo. You really ain't. You really ain't. Especially these types.
But that is not always on the table.
We had a couple of arguments that morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I lay down in the living room floor with my daughter. She was scared that her mother was going to take her.
Right.
Anyway, Lynn was like, well, I'll take care of it. She was all smooth. I'll kill her. I was like, are you crazy? She's like, no, I'll go kill her. At 3:30 in the morning, something like that.
Some cases,
Donna coming there telling us stuff,
it does
going back
happen, Sean.
take care of her. She's buried in the ditches back there.
Are we talking about the house?
And then later on,
hey, Turkey, how you
another day,
doing? Good to see you. See you this Sunday.
I can't prove that for a fact, but I know, I never went and checked.
I'm sorry you didn't get the notification, Turkey.
She said she moved her to the racetrack.
The detectives have successfully pitted Robert and LaDonna against each other and are now reaping the rewards. With each accusation they make against each other, the detectives are provided a new lead to follow up on. So, following this cycle, the investigators went back to LaDonna and told her Robert was now saying that she was the mastermind.
Okay, here's what we got. They're interviewing Robert right now. All right, Robert's phone call. Yeah, Robert's saying you killed her. And
Are you friggin' serious?
well, what did you expect? He knows we're going to find the body, so he's mounting his defense.
Now he wants to cooperate.
Right.
So if there's anything else you know, it's time to give it up.
Okay, I was with him when he brought her out here. Matter of fact, I was driving. He made me drive because I had license. He had me pull around over onto this side, and he gets out and he just pushes her off the trailer onto the ground. He go get the maintainer and he just digs it and he digs it and he digs it. And then finally pushes and rolls her back over in it. And he takes the maintainer and
Sorry guys, I'm gonna curse again. You dumb bitch. You just admitted that now you wasn't a bystander. You knew he was going to do it. You was a full-on accomplice. You said you motherfucking drove. You helped him with the fucking body. You're an idiot. You're stupid. And you really believed if you would have told that you actually was there from the get-go, that somehow that was going to help you in any way? You really honestly believed them when they said that? Oh my freaking God. Okay. Let's go. Because I gotta go.
he comes back and he covers her up. And that is where he put her. She's going to be in a tarp.
The excavation crew took this new information and began digging several massive holes in the area Michelle was allegedly buried. After many hours of intense labor, they found a small piece of blue tarp. They continued digging, slowly exposing the tarp more and more. And when they could finally open it up, they found a blue-green comforter wrapped around a skeleton. These remains were tested and confirmed to be Michelle. Adding to the wickedness of this crime, there was duct tape wrapped around her wrists, ankles, face, and eyes. This suggested that Michelle was bound and likely kept alive for an uncertain amount of time. It also increased the chance that this was a two-person job. Meanwhile, Robert continued to claim that he was a bystander to LaDonna's heinous actions. In another attempt to convince the detectives of this, he volunteered to take a polygraph test.
Are you in the state of Texas?
Yes, sir.
Did you kill Michelle?
No.
Did you kill Michelle that night?
No.
In your entire life, did you ever do something you regretted?
No.
Did you participate in killing Michelle that night?
No.
What's going through your mind during this testing? What questions are you having the most problems with?
None of them really. I mean, what am I?
People going to look at this and going to say, this was the day that he was asking for, he wanted
So
this.
Is what you're saying.
And what I'm saying is you're having some issues, and I'm trying to figure out what those issues are.
I passed the part where I said I didn't kill her? Or no?
Man, you failed the whole deal.
How? I mean, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, sir.
Yeah, I'll tell you what you're doing wrong. You're lying.
The polygraph examiner tells Robert that at this point, confessing to anything is better than confessing to nothing.
I don't know what
Tell me that you're not that cold-blooded killer.
No, sir.
Tell me you're...
He failed that test horribly. He didn't even have to wait and give him any results. He said, you failed miserably. He only asked that man 4 questions, and he phrased it in different ways, and he failed every single last one, not even a hint of truth. Gosh, like, dude, it's a wrap. Give it up already. Like, seriously, like, that's sad. Like, that's really, really, really sad. Really sad.
You're the one that just got wrapped into something, and that you didn't necessarily kill her, but yeah, you might have had something to do with the disposal. If that's the case, we need to get out in front of this right now. And I say that because I'm looking at these pictures and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, God dang, this is one of those things where what kind of person puts duct tape on a person's face like that?
I can't understand. I can't see what's what.
That's her skull.
Really?
That's her jaw. Wow.
I haven't seen her.
What kind of person would put duct tape on somebody like that?
I don't know.
Robert just saw his wife's remains, the wife who was missing for 10 years, and he still claims to love. Yet he showed zero emotional reaction, continuing the conversation like nothing even happened.
You need to start giving some explanation.
I'm trying to. That's why I tried helping officers.
She just died in another room. She just got that old duct tape wrapped around her.
He sure did.
And then,
he went in there so confident.
I did not put her in another room. I did
you're
not wrap the duct
about this.
Yeah. Because I didn't do it.
It's a funny subject to you.
What's funny is
he's a psychopath.
You're getting gratification. So why'd you kill her?
I didn't kill her.
Why'd you get rid of the body?
I didn't get rid of the body.
Why are you lying about it?
I'm not lying.
You obviously are.
Apparently I am.
This back and forth carried on for a while. Slowly but surely, and with the help of another detective, Robert eventually gave in.
Okay. LaDonna Smothers told me she smothered her with a pillow. She said they got in an argument. He said she just laid the pillow over and she smothered her. Then she took her jewelry off of her and wrapped her up in the blanket and took her outside, wrapped her up in a tarp, put her in the footings that I had out back. Honest to God. And then we had the racetrack, already had the drainage ditch dug there or whatever, and we moved her over there and put her in.
Why'd you just say that?
This far into the investigation, it was hard to believe anything Robert was saying. Regardless of whether or not this story was completely true, he just admitted to tampering.
So it's crazy because you just see when he felt that there was no way to get out of it, now it's his wife did it completely. He said that she did everything. Everything that his wife said he did a Uno reverse and said, no, she did it. She did it. At least the wife eventually said that she helped, right? She said she can't take it anymore. It started bringing back nightmares. And she was like, yeah, I did help. I did know what was going on. And yes, he did do it. Him now, he's saying that she did everything. He's now removing himself out the situation. It's crazy. He said we dumped her. That's about it. That's about it. But he said that she did everything. She suffocated her with the pillow, duct taped her, all that stuff. Now it was his wife that did it. That's a desperate man. Mind you, this whole entire time he was so confident. He was like, I'm not saying nothing, I'm not telling nothing. But now he's desperate because he knows that they found the body. Remember, we saw the transition from his first interrogation. He was trying to find out how much the detectives know. At that time, the detectives didn't have the body. They didn't even know where the new burial ground was. They knew where her old burial ground was, but not the new one. So when he realized that they didn't have any hardcore evidence, it kept his ego up, where he was confident, where he was like, no, I'm not saying anything. Now they're showing him pictures of her deceased body. That means if they found it, they know they're going to find his DNA on it. He's in desperate mode. Desperate mode now.
With evidence. So this charge was added on top of the murder charge, and he was taken back to his cell. Each time they spoke to LaDonna, her involvement grew. From not knowing anything, to witnessing the body being transported, to actually talking about it with Robert, to then helping Robert relocate the body. It wouldn't be surprising if her next confession was that she helped immobilize and kill Michelle in the first place. So the detectives circled back with LaDonna yet again to see if she would confess even more.
I guess you saw in the news that obviously the body was found.
Oh yeah, they were definitely.
I had read it on Facebook and everything after his sister-in-law told everybody I was the murderer.
Michelle's family calling LaDonna a murderer seemed to affect her, because right after bringing it up, she began crying. But this garnered no sympathy from the detectives, who were about to call her out for the same thing.
Now, here's another thing. You know, the body was duct taped. You aware of that?
No, I was not aware of that.
Indications are that she was alive when she was duct taped. Now, are your fingerprints going to be on that duct tape?
Better not be, no. No, you can run it.
All right.
Where was she duct taped at?
We got a picture.
I think he had access to it.
She was duct taped over her mouth and her face and her head. Because she was alive when she did it. Because you helped him duct tape.
No, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
I should have helped him.
You're involved in it as deep as he is, and you know it.
No.
Yes, you did.
You are.
No.
Yeah, it's hard to look at, isn't it?
I didn't do that.
Oh, you did.
Yes, you did.
No,
you
I
had
didn't.
a very, very, very important role in it.
No.
Because I guarantee you, why would you?
Right, exactly, Turkey. Why would you say better not to?
I wouldn't do it.
What I think is you've got a role in it. You better get straight with it 100%.
I didn't kill her. He wanted me to, but I couldn't kill her. I couldn't do it.
We're about tired of this half-assed.
I was in the room.
I want the story.
I was in the room and he told me, he said, take that pillow, put it over her face. I said, I can't. He said, just do it. I went to put it over her face and she looked at me and I said, I can't do it. He was out. It grabs the damn thing and just smashed it.
So you're in the room.
You in the fucking room. Right, Miss.
It's somewhat astonishing that LaDonna kept agreeing to these interviews, considering how easily she cracks under pressure. Just like every other interview, LaDonna had an emotional breakdown, and more details began pouring out of her. Apparently, she and Robert had talked about killing Michelle several times before it actually happened.
Premeditated.
How many conversations did y'all have about killing her?
It is a wrap for her.
There was probably about 3.
Both of them, actually.
If anything happens, you won't get in trouble. I'll take the blame because I had to get rid of her. She's going to take my kids from me. That's why whenever he told everybody I'd done it, I was shocked because he just kept promising me that he wouldn't own up to what happened.
This information was crucial, as it meant that Michelle's murder was premeditated, but LaDonna still pinned the...
See, that's the thing. See, this is what she don't understand. What she just said with that statement. She said that he promised her that if they got found out, he was going to take the blame. It was her idea. It was her idea. Even though she's trying to still pin it as he wanted to get rid of her because she was going to take the kids. No, it was your idea. You needed him to swear to you that if I do this for you, you're going to take the blame. That's why it hurt her so much that now he figured she threw him under the bus. Why not throw her under the bus? I held up to my bargain. I was not going to say anything. I didn't throw you initially under the bus. You threw me initially under the bus. And then after that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to let it all air out. It was you. You decided to do it. You wanted to do it and all that. That little small statement lets you know that she was the mastermind behind unaliving his wife. Just think about it. Why would he promise her, I will take the blame for everything if we get caught? Right? Why would he promise her that if they've been plotting and planning for this for a very long time, and she was in agreement with it anyway because she didn't want her there anyway. She was always going to be somewhat of a threat to her in her relationship with this guy because she was cheating with this guy while he was still married with her. He didn't have to promise that. Now, if she would have said that, she feared for her life, whatever not, or if she's scared or she wouldn't help him because, she thinks that he was going to like throw it under her, then that would be something different. But no, her just saying that lets me know this was your idea. It was your idea, and he went with it. He went with it. Let's see. Yeah, she's about as tough as an egg under these questions. Yeah, she breaks very easily. Every time they talk, she adds more and more details implicating herself. Yeah, she was the mastermind. She definitely was. She ain't the sharpest crayon in the ocean. Nope. Not in the box. Nothing. I don't know. Chicken in the sea. And the dead wife would have left happily if they just said, I don't love you anymore. I want a divorce. Right. Exactly. Laura said, I'm still not totally convinced. She doesn't seem like the type. No, she's the type. She's the type. She's definitely the type. Definitely the type.
The blame on Robert, saying it was his desire to kill her and she was merely a bystander.
When we were talking about the duct tape, you said your fingerprint shouldn't be on there.
No, they shouldn't be.
That's not a definitive no. So did you help put tape on it?
No, I really honestly didn't.
But Donna, why should we believe?
You shouldn't. You don't have to. I left it all out. I didn't want to.
That's what I'm saying. Is there what else is there you can tell us? You need to tell us the rest.
I don't know why she's taped up. I don't.
Wait
a second. No, he did tape her up. He taped her up to put her all together. He said to hold her all in one spot. He said to put all of her body together so it would stay still and arms and legs didn't flop out and stuff. And I don't know why he did that. I don't understand that one.
She did, however, admit to helping bury the body.
I went out there and been digging on that hole for a little bit, and I'm just standing there watching me. He grabs her, he slides her off into the hole. Then he tells me, grab a shovel, help me bury her. I said, I don't want to. He said, just grab a damn shovel, everything's okay, it's already done, it's already over.
What was she buried in?
It was a blanket. It was a blanket.
Okay. No tarp.
No, the tarp was not there at the time. The tarp I handed it to the night we transferred it to the racetrack. Then I was so scared of driving that night because I knew if we got pulled over, then you could not pass up that smell. I'm very sorry.
What are you sorry for?
That I didn't step up and be a bigger person and stop everything to stop him.
Following this final interview, the police arrested LaDonna.
She's trying to garnish as much sympathy as she possibly can to save herself. You are not sorry. You didn't want to be the quote unquote bigger person. It was a benefit for you too that that woman was gone. And that's why you helped her. Now all of a sudden you're talking about you were so afraid to drive up there to the racetrack and all. You wasn't, because look how long it's been since this woman has been gone. And you have not said anything. You went on your merry life, marrying this guy, and act nothing of it. Took over her children, had them call you mom, knowing what you did to their mother. You're despicable. You're just a despicable human being. Despicable. Bruce said, I have used duct tape to tape cardboard and on the windows in the basement. I also use it to fix my radiator hose that was leaking. The tape was in my house. My prints are on it, I'm sure. You're right. Exactly. Fingerprints on duct tape. Her response is, it shouldn't be. My response, hell to the no. If I knew my fingerprints were there. Exactly. So what are you saying? Your fingerprints shouldn't be there. By even saying that, oh, my fingerprints shouldn't be there, it gives me like, did you tell him to wipe down the duct tape? You know what I'm saying? Make sure you get rid of fingerprints and stuff just in case. That's what it kind of, what it means to me when she said that statement. Because you should know whether or not if your fingerprints are on duct tape or not. Bruce says she's just sorry that she got caught. Yeah, she's sorry that she got caught. She's sorry that she pretty much told on her husband. She betrayed her husband first, and then her husband actually came out and told the whole damn truth. That's what she's mad about. Them crocodile tears ain't fooling nobody. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope, it's not.
She received the same charges as Robert, murder and tampering with evidence. Despite what seemed to be an abundance of evidence, the prosecutors ultimately offered Robert and LaDonna plea deals, and on July 16, 2018, just hours before the offers expired, they agreed.
Well with you.
Naomi Michelle Miller was killed in 2005, then buried at the old racetrack off of FM 2105 by Robert Miller and LaDonna Yoder. Now, over a decade later, they've had their turn in court. The couple took plea deals just hours before the deadline set by the state last week. Both entered guilty pleas. Robert Miller was sentenced to 38 years in prison and LaDonna Yoder to 35.
It's a big weight, lifted off your shoulders. I've spoke with both the mother and the father. They're both grateful for everybody and for everybody's help. And they said that they hope that this will bring some closure to their family and have the ability to lay Naomi Michelle Miller to rest so that she can rest in peace.
Part of their plea agreements, the charges of tampering with evidence were dropped, and they waived their right to appeal their conviction. On October 10, 2018, LaDonna wrote a letter to District Court Judge Jay Weatherby, taking full responsibility for Michelle's murder. In it, LaDonna wrote, I, LaDonna Yoder, is the one that took the life of Naomi M. Miller. I cannot sit here knowing that I let Mr. Miller go down for the crime that he has been charged for. LaDonna went on to describe several instances of domestic violence between Michelle and Robert, as well as Michelle's aggressive behavior towards her and her children. Apparently, on December 3, 2005, one incident in particular led to Michelle's death. LaDonna wrote, out of nowhere, Mrs. Miller started laughing, saying I was really stupid because I had been thinking that my 3-year-old son was finally sleeping all night long and getting on a sleeping schedule on his own, only to have her tell me that she had been giving him Benadryl to make him sleep. I snapped and pulled my pillow out from under my head and held it over Mrs. Miller's face until she stopped moving. She then wrote that Robert walked in on her sitting next to Michelle's body, crying and not able to move. Robert then took care of the body for her, and she later helped him relocate it to the racetrack. She ended the letter by saying, I cannot change the past or bring her back. All I can do is ask for forgiveness from God and pray that whatever comes of this letter will be the right thing. I was asked in here why I did it. All I can say was I did it for my children and his children and for him. Robert Miller currently resides at the John M. Wynn Unit in Huntsville, Texas, while LaDonna Yoder resides in the William P. Hobby Unit in Marlin, Texas.
That was crazy. That was a real crazy case. Like I said, I had a feeling that it was her. It was her idea. She admitted it. It's not going to stop the fact that they got the time that they was going to get. I think their time is okay. I would like a little bit more, but at least both of them got over 30 years, which is absolutely great. Because what they did to this woman was wicked. It was horrible. What they did to their children was wicked and horrible. That woman should have never had to deal with such things like that. And I love the fact that we got to see, the battle of the wits, and then to see that no wonder these two were together. They're both master manipulators, right? One uses victimhood and crying and despair, and the other one they use I would say nonchalant or acting oblivious to what's going on. So it was really good to see that, and I'm glad that I was able to show you that. All right, so good folks of the algorithm, that is all the cases that I have for you tonight. I hope that you enjoyed it this Sunday evening. Thank y'all so much for rocking out with me. Like I said, y'all could have been doing anything in the world, but y'all came to rock out with me to look at these cases. Truly, truly, truly appreciate it. I won't be back tomorrow, but I'll probably come back the day after tomorrow. Like I said, I'm on leave, so I got a little more time with you guys, right? So the day after tomorrow, I'll be back. I'll set up the notification early, since a couple of you guys are telling me that you're not receiving a notification, and I'm sorry that is happening. Hopefully I can probably refresh maybe the channel, maybe that might work. I'll try to do whatever I can on my side so you can get the notifications when I do pull them out. And let's see. Oh my goodness. Welcome back, RJ. Welcome back. I hope everything is well with you, sir. How are you? I hope everything is well with you. Oh, you was in the Philippines. Oh, okay. All right. Well, welcome back. And I'm glad that you're safe. I'm definitely glad that you're safe and everything's well with you, sir. Everything's well with you. So good folks, please enjoy the rest of your night. Make sure you hit that like button for me. If you haven't, hit the down button. If you didn't like it, it's okay. It still helps the channel. Share this out to anybody who likes these cases. Again, once I end the live stream, if you have any cases that you want me to review, type it in the comment section. I would really appreciate if more people are active in the comment section for me. It definitely also helps the channel as well. Take care, everyone. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you. And you are officially engaged. Congratulations! Yay! Awesome. Congratulations, RJ. You're officially engaged. Oh, I'm so happy for you. So happy for you. Congrats on the engagement, sir. You was telling us about it before you left, and I'm glad that everything worked out. That's a wonderful thing. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. Matter of fact, blessings to you all right? Stay true. Love each other. Stay good. And I will see y'all on the next one. Bye, everyone. I got to go to my class.